Man, I'll tell you, this is a night to remember.
Western Kentucky has won 2 straight Conference USA League titles, and coming into 2017, they are one of the favorites again. And today from Bowling Green, Kentucky, the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky are set to face the Cardinals of Ball State. Hello again, everybody. Along with former Pittsburgh Steeler Max Starks, I'm Ron Thulin. Max, on practice on Thursday, Western Kentucky head coach Mike Sanford stressed to the fact that they had to start fast. They have the quarterback to do just that.
Mike White is one of the most explosive Conference USA quarterbacks, if not in the country, and the reigning Conference USA MVP has the ability to go long in any pass and has the poise to complete any of them as well. But this team has not started fast in its first 3 games. In fact, with their opening possessions, they've 3 and out or punted all 3. So tonight will be very important to see how fast they can start against Ball State.
Of course, he's the Conference USA preseason Offensive Player of the Year. Now, if you're a Ball State fan, you're behind the 8 ball tonight. 4 offensive starters are out because of injury, including your leading passer and your leading rusher. That is difficult for Ball State.
Yeah, when you look at what the offense is missing, it's almost 900 yards. That's not going to be on the field tonight between James Gilbert and Riley Neal. So the guys to pick it up will be Jack Milas, backup quarterback for Ball State, saw action back in 2015 and will be charged with the responsibility of leading this Cardinal offense against the Hilltoppers.
It's going to be a tough road to hoe for Ball State tonight, but for Western Kentucky since 2012, they're 15-1 versus non-conference opponents outside the Power 5. Western Kentucky, Ball State, next. Good look at downtown Bowling Green, Kentucky. A hot, sultry September afternoon and evening tonight. Temperature probably still in the high 80s, but we're expected to get down in the 70s by the time this game really gets into high gear. Western Kentucky comes in. Their coach said earlier this week they've got to find a way to win. They're looking for their first win over an FBS team as they come in at 1-2. Now, both teams have a common opponent in Illinois. You look at the numbers, it's telling. Ball State, they were able to move the ball. Western Kentucky was not able to move the ball. Do we read too much into that stat, Max?
I looked at this stat, and I think I read a little bit into it, but you have to remember, Ball State, all these numbers, you got to pretty much count them out because you're missing Riley Neal and James Gilbert, the 2 main reasons why that offense was clicking, especially when you think of third down. So that's going to be a critical area for Ball State tonight is can they convert the third downs without your leading quarterback and your running back.
And the head coach of Ball State in his 2nd year is Mike New, former Ball State quarterback. He's currently still number 3 on the career passing list and one of 2 coaches in Division I named Mike New. Same spelling. The other, head baseball coach at Cal. That's the trivia for tonight.
That is a special one right there because that's a very odd name. You don't find that every day. It's not like a Smith or a Johnson.
You know, his team has the social media hashtag TBTM, which means Take Back the Mat. In his 2nd year, he's got NFL experience. He's got arena football experience. He's got Canadian League football experience. That has all played into how he's coaching this team.
It has indeed. You know, with his time in New Orleans, studying and learning Drew Brees, he has a true admiration and adoration for him, and I think he's leaked it into his football team, especially with the quarterbacks, just kind of rehashing just all the things that Drew Brees does, the relentless effort, the pursuit for perfection, and he hammers that into those guys without being too overbearing as back in my day type of quarterback.
I like the fact he was just talking to Jack Milas, the quarterback, and had a little laugh. He's probably been in that situation where all of a sudden you're on the bench. Hey, by the way, you're starting tonight.
Yeah, get ready, get your reps in. Did you bring your playbook this weekend?
Exactly.
That's a quick thing.
And there's the head coach in his first season, the 2nd youngest coach in Division I, Mike Sanford. His vision he calls the pursuit. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. He came from Notre Dame where he was offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for 2 years. He also was a quarterback. He was at Boise State. And it's going to be a short kick. Coin toss, Ball State won it. They decided to defer to second half, so we get our first look at Western Kentucky's offense tonight. Come in averaging just about let's say 325 yards a game and 20 points a game. I'm looking for this offense to get on track tonight, Max, because you look at Mike White, who comes in with career 38 touchdown passes. He only has 1 this year.
It's going to be important for this offense. You look at the starting field position, almost at midfield because of the pooch kick, and you have to be inspired coming on the field. You're not backed up. You don't have the shadow of your own end zone there, and you're working midfield against this Cardinal defense.
Well, they didn't want to kick to Towner. That's why it was a short kick. Lucky Jackson in motion. They challenged him to step up in this game. Short pass is complete. And that'll be a pickup of about 4 on the play. That was Cameron Eccles-Looper. This is a young man that only was at camp about 2 weeks. He had 1 reception coming into tonight, and the coach is telling us Thursday and Friday that they're going to use a lot of them. Marquez Twig in the backfield, and he gets his first carry. Trigg, the sophomore out of Glasgow, Kentucky, gets close to the 50, to the 49-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd down and about 3.
Big running back here in Trigg. He's 6 feet, 225 pounds, and he looks every bit of it on the field, running right up the field in the power. And this offense is geared towards gap schemes and man-blocking football, which is what I love as a former offensive lineman. So for them to get on track, the running game has to get started early.
Now Cameron Eccles-Looper goes to the top of your screen. Watching him in practice over the last couple of days, he is very, very quick. White looking over the middle, double pumps, wide open, got the first down, inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Lucky Jackson, his 14th reception of the season.
And we're going to get it right here. Here's where your sack is going to end, is going to be the holding call against Jimmy Sims, and I'm going to take a guess and say that was Anthony Winbush he was blocking. Came right around the edge, and he was held up just a second too long, had his arm around the neck, and the holding call was easy to see for the referee.
You talk about Anthony Winbush. How about number 1 in the FBS for Ball State? 9.5 tackles for a loss, 6.5 sacks. Also number 1. He wears jersey number 98. There he is right there. You look at him at tape. He's got great hips. He's got great flexibility.
And he will be playing on Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
The rate that he's going.
Well, after the holding penalty, sets up a 3rd down and 12. And White looks left, throws over the middle, caught, first down inside the 45. Great catch by Xavier Lane, his 7th of the season. That's a good sign because the coaches said he's had trouble holding on to the football this year.
Nice protection up front here. If you look, there is body presence for Anthony Winbush. They switch off the twist, and he has plenty of time to make that catch and right across the middle for the first down.
Talk about a confidence builder from Mike White in this offense. Fortenberry, an H-back tight end, in motion. White goes over the middle, and there's the drop we were talking about. Lucky Jackson can't put the meat hooks on that one.
And this is something Coach Sanford has really been emphasizing, is that when you get the ball across the middle, think about the catch before you think about the touchdown. And right there, Lucky Jackson saw all that green grass and could not haul the pass in. So this is something that will be very much emphasized throughout this contest.
Not only Xavier Lane, but a number of receivers had trouble holding out of the ball on the pass. White on the run, dumps it off into the flat. Kyle Fortenberry, the tight end, the redshirt freshman out of Opelika, Alabama.
Right here, this is also something they were talking about when we were talking with offense coordinator Junior Adams, was that when Anthony Winbush is in the game, we want to run at him, but we want to sprint away from him and pass protection. We can move the pocket away from him because he is so quick. And right there, you saw them running away from him and completing a nice pass to the tight end.
Now Xavier Lane goes to the top of your screen. Fant goes into the slot. Marquez Trigg is now left side of Mike White. White looking over the middle. Pass complete. Another first down inside the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 11 on the play. Xavier Lane on the reception.
Yeah, right here, if you look across the front, you have body presence in Marquez Trigg. And right there, that's all you need when you're coming up the field for Anthony Winbush. You got to put a body on him to help Jimmy Sims out if you want to be successful in this contest.
Xavier Lane already 2 receptions. Just a handoff. Jakari Moses, the freshman out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, You know, you and I were talking to the coaches yesterday. We said, describe Jakari Moses. And offensive coordinator Junior Adams told us he has it.
And he does. And right there, a little delayed handoff to the left, running at Anthony Winbush again and picking up some good yardage.
Impressive drive so far for the Hilltoppers. Looked like there was motion in the backfield. White sets up the screen pass. Moses gets the first down to the 15. Might want to mention DeAndre Furby is not playing tonight. He is injured, who is considered the starter at running back.
And that was a little bit of it with the screen, halfback screen to the left. And once again, doing this all at Anthony Winbush. He's playing the right end position, right over Jimmy Sims, the left tackle. And a lot of plays have been forced his way if there's been running or if there's any type of quick pass action.
This is the 9th play of the drive as White drops back, double clutches, dumps it off. Fortenberry looks for the 10, gets down to about the 9.
So we look here, right here, we got body presence right on the side of Jimmy Sims, and that's what's going to help slow that rush by Anthony Winbush because he has one direction to go. And that's what's been helping this offense.
This time under center. White just hands off. Straight up the middle, it is Trigg. He'll get the first down at about the 5-yard line. That'll set up a first down and goal situation. I tell you, this drive has been impressive. Passes over the middle, using his tight end, and then offsetting that with a little bit of run action.
And this is what needs to be done the entire night. You have to balance your offense. You can't get into a passing duel because that's where this defensive line excels for Ball State. So if they can continue to be balanced, Jakari Moses mix up how he receives the ball, this Western Kentucky team is going to have a great night.
Well, now Drew Eccles checks in at quarterback. He is more of a running type quarterback. Runs the option, keeps it, gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and maybe loses a half a yard. Let's see where they mark it. Eccles, more of a pro-style type quarterback, but when you talk to the coaches, they say he's a good runner. Now, Mike White will come back in, and we knew Eccles would be playing tonight.
We did because Eccles has a great job, almost Tim Tebow-esque when it comes into the red zone area where he has that run threat. But right there I think the running back bit a little bit too hard on the zone read.
Trigg in the backfield. White goes lofting into the corner. Incomplete.
So close.
Boy, Xavier Lane almost pulled that in.
And Xavier Lane's just trying to run a little quick post route out here, and the ball comes to the inside, and it was a little bit too much on the inside. The defensive back was shouldering and blocking his path, but he almost pulled it in with one hand.
I'll tell you, how did his pads come out of his jersey?
Yeah.
Well, it's third down and goal now from just over the 5-yard line. White play action, looks, rifle in the pass into the end zone, touchdown, Western Kentucky. Dion Yelder with his first touchdown reception of the year.
What a tremendous job here. Clean pocket on the edges. If you look at clean pocket up the front, and White's able to climb the pocket a little bit and throw an absolute dart right into the middle, right to Dion Yelder, low enough to where he was the only one who could catch it. DBs were around, but not in the area before Yelder could haul that touchdown catch in.
And Ryan Neuse set to kick the extra point. Perfect this year, 7 of 7 so far. Holder is Jake Collins. And the kick is good. So Dion Yelder, who is honorable mention for the John Mackey Tight End Award this week, gets his first touchdown reception of the season. 7-0 Western Kentucky after one drive. Now, we talked at the top of the show that Mike Sanford wanted to start fast. They did on their opening drive. Part of it was because of great protection from that offensive line.
The protection was really great. You look right here, this is the premier matchup. They talked about they wanted to run away from Anthony Winbush, Jimmy Sims with the assignment, and then you stop again, and you see the pocket starting to create here, a wall to the left-hand side, giving Mike White plenty of vision to see Dion Yelder in the end zone and deliver a dart just below his knees, and you have the touchdown pass. So great job here early on for this offensive line. giving Mike White the time he needs. And you saw in that last drive, he was laser precise with all of his passes.
Well, that's because they gave up 4 sacks versus Louisiana Tech last week, and that really hurt. This is going to be Malik Dunner. He's going to take a knee 2 yards deep, in Ball State will take possession on the 25-yard line. Once again, Riley Neal, because of injury, who leads the MAC in completion percentage and is probably one of the most efficient quarterbacks you have ever seen, is out because of injury. Jack Milas, the 6'1", 205-pound senior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois, will be the starting quarterback. But the coaches have a lot of confidence in him. He started 2 games in 2015. He went 139 consecutive completions without an interception. So he's got experience and he's got understanding.
Yeah, he's got poise, and on the road, that's all you can ask for in a backup, a guy who has experience.
Well, they'll go with 5 wide receivers set to begin things, and Milos will put it up. Throws it into the flat, pass caught, first down, up over the 45 to the 46-yard line, and a penalty flag is thrown after Justin Hall picks up 21.
And this is thrown on the defensive side of the field, so you have to assume it's not against the offense, probably some type of PI or illegal holding.
Well, you look at this Ball State offense on tape. They are methodical as we take a look at the call.
There's no foul on the play. Result of the play is a first down.
Justin Elliott, our referee. But they're a methodical offense. They average about 33 and a half minutes a game of ball control. That was anything but methodical. They just came out winging the ball.
And they're spreading this defense out so they can make easier reads for the backup quarterback. When you go to 5 wides,
good call.
That's what you're looking for to see if there's any blitz tendencies.
Now they go 4 wides. Left side, up over the 50, into Western Kentucky territory is Malik Dunner, the sophomore from Carpentersville, Illinois. He had ball security issues last season, but they say he is a very capable runner. They like him.
Yeah, this huddle-style offense is really good, and when you get into 4 wides, you have a lot of options. So if you see a 6-man box, that lets you know that you can signal any type of run. If you were in a pass, you can check into a run, or if there was a run, you can keep it on.
And they're ahead of the change, which is part of the efficiency we've seen. Milos looks, throws deep, near side, knocked away by DeAndre Ferris. Good defensive play by number 22.
And what a great job running a streak route down the sideline. And Milos puts it up in a place where he can catch it, but DeAndre Ferris times up the jump and bats the ball away at the last second.
Now this Western Kentucky defense has allowed only 53 points in 3 games, the fewest in 3 games since 2004.
And they're going to have their hands full tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You want to see this defensive line try and get to Milos. The biggest thing they can do is affect that backup quarterback, because even though he's seen action, he hasn't seen that much recently.
Ball State, number 3 in the FBS, 3rd down percentage, but they will not be successful on that.
And right there, bringing a dog off of the offensive right side and getting in the way of Milos' throw. And this is what we're talking about. Affecting his throwing lanes is going to be the difference. And right here, we have a turnover that they're going to be kicking off to him. And it's just, that's what Western Kentucky has to do. When you look at the games that they've lost this season, it's because of the lack of pressure. And right now you see them bringing pressure early in this game, trying to affect the backup quarterback.
Nathan Snyder, the freshman out of Marysville, Ohio, will kick it away for Ball State. Nakarius Fant standing back just inside the 15. And one of the question marks for Western Kentucky coming into the game, will they get their return game going? We have a whistle, not a block. Fant is dangerous, though.
Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, you hate to see that on a punt.
Yeah, pre-snap penalties is one of the things that will always kill a drive and kill momentum. And right here, even though it's only in the punt range and their punter has plenty of leg, it's still something you don't want to have happen. You want to be a clean football team throughout the contest.
What did Coach tell us on Thursday? Pre-snap penalties are unacceptable.
Yes.
Here comes the rush. Gets it off. Good job by the freshman. Fant's going to let it hit. And it'll go inside the 20, and it'll bounce out at about the 18-yard line. 36 yards on the kick, nothing on the return. So the first time that Western Kentucky had the football, they went 58 yards and 13 plays for a score. They've got it again when we come back. They're called the Hilltoppers because the campus has a hill that goes up about 232 feet above sea level, and most of the academic buildings are on that hill. And on the downslope of the hill, the residential buildings and the apartments are on the bottom. Hello, I'm Max Starks, Ron Thune. Good to have you with us today in Bowling Green, Kentucky. A beautiful evening. Now that the sun's gone down, we can actually see.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
A little sweltering up here early on for the contest, but now it's starting to get cool.
Now let's see how Western Kentucky comes in and continues this fast stretch. Once again, their first drive didn't take that long, inside of 6 minutes. If White goes to work, they'll try the run game. It'll be Marquez Trigg again. You watch him on tape, Max, and I get the sense that Marquez he's an every down type of back.
He is. He has the size, plus he has the vision to sit back there in all 3 downs. You look at right here, he's lined up in the backfield next to the quarterback, scanning for possible blitzers. And
White's got some time, looks, throws wide open, the second drop of the evening. Off the hands of Xavier Lane, and we talked about that on the first drive. Had the dropsies last week.
This is a tough thing. These young receivers are going to have to get through that. They've got to haul the pass in first before thinking about turning upfield. Right there, Xavier Lane, you see the left knee twitching as he's trying to turn his body upfield before he actually secures the pass.
You know, when you look at him, he's got naturally good hands and what coaches like to call soft hands. It's just the learning process for the redshirt freshman. Now on third down, they'll go 3 wides to the left. White steps up in the pocket, down the middle, has a man, overthrows him.
And that was a perfect pass. You look, he had a step on the defender, but he heard the footsteps. Anthony Winbush had beat Jimmy Sims off the left edge, and he was diving at his legs as he released that football, so he felt that, and you saw that in his pass. He didn't throw all the way through, so it kind of sailed a little bit past the receiver downfield.
Jake Collins, the punter, the junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. 3 punts that had a chance to be returned this year. None have been returned. Averages just about 36 yards a kick. Blocking area is deep. High snap. He's got it. Gets it away. Line drive, and Locking area is going to let it touch. And it'll go down to about the 36-yard line for a 40-yard kick. Not bad.
So close. Not bad at all. He sends the pass a little bit to the right, the long snapper, sending it back to the punter, and he bobbles it a little bit, and there was a defender coming off the edge, but he gets it off, and boy, that could have gotten disastrous really quick if he didn't get that ball.
No style points in punting.
No, there isn't.
This isn't diving.
It's just success and failure, and right there, that's a success, so check it off on the box.
Ball State has focused on finishing this week, finishing drills, finishing plays, and finishing drives. Milas will hand off right side up over the 40, up to the 42-yard line. And again, we see what makes Ball State successful, staying ahead of the chains on first down.
It is most important, and with that run, especially running an easy inside zone to the right-hand side, allowing the running back to pick the hole he wants to dive through, and right there, dives through for a nice 6-yard gain.
So efficient on first and second down, the Cardinals are this year. Locking area will go wide to the right. Caleb Hunter in the backfield, originally committed to Western Kentucky. And he'll get his second carry, stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe gets back to the line.
And just a nice short gainer. And here's what I like about Caleb Hunter. They're running, shoot through the gap, but he goes right over the top of the Hilltopper defender. He tops the Hilltopper.
There you go.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Bertram did a nice job of filling the hole on that play. Brings up another third down situation. They need 5. 59% on the year conversion for Ball State, as mentioned. 3rd best in college football. 4-man rush. Milas feels the pressure, has a man caught inside the 30, inside the 20-yard line. That was a pinpoint pass by Jack Milas. Malik Dunner is the receiver, and he picks up 43.
And Malik Dunner does a great job. He's on the inside slot, He veers to the outside, runs a nice 9 route down the sideline, and Miles puts it in a place where only he could catch it. Tried to high step out of that tackle with those legs. It got him a couple extra yards, but couldn't break free for the touchdown.
Iabunye is the one who has gotten beat on that play. And by the way, for Dunner, that is a career-long 43-yard reception. And you can see the red zone efficiency for Ball State. That was a major focus coming into this season. On first down, Miles looks, throws, has a man deep in the corner, caught. They're going to mark him out at the 2-yard line.
And so close. I mean, you look at the route that Nolan Given, the tight end, runs, running a crossing route, deep crosser, and just right behind all the defenders. Jack Miles drops it right in the corner. He's just a foot and a half.
Yeah.
A little bit too short of the end zone. He secures it. If he could have just gotten that hand out to get that touchdown. But what a great hauling in pass right as he gets to the sideline.
Well, the catch was made by Nolan Given, the redshirt freshman out of Berkeley, Michigan. They're going to look at that play. It's going to be under review. How about this start, though, for Miles? 3 for 5 throwing the football. He was 0 for 1 coming into this game. They're trying to decide probably if he had possession and made a football move after he caught it.
But it looks, I mean, you look at it right here. The ball's caught well within the field of play, and guy dives at his knees. He takes at least 2 catches. I have to say that that's going to be confirmed, and he's still holding on to the football. That looks like a really easy call for the official. Shouldn't take them too long to confer. That poor sign, though, on the sideline.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, he's in control right here before he even gets to that sideline.
You know what stands out about Jack Miles tonight, the senior? His poise and confidence. There hasn't been any jitters in this young man since he walked out on the football field. I go back to the beginning of the game when Mike New looked at him and they both started cracking up laughing.
Yes, and that's what you want in your backup quarterback. I mean, let's face it, the backup quarterback is the favorite guy on the team until he has to go in. And he's come in here and he hasn't been hesitant on any of his throws. You look at the sideline passes, throwing back shoulder fades. He has done a great job. Yeah, so we're going to look right here, and let's go to the replay. Let's just...
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Now they did confirm it back.
In right here. I mean, 2 feet down, additional step here that he's going to reach out for, and easy no call for that. That should have been something... but I get why the officials want to do it. After looking at today's landscape of the games that happened earlier today, I could appreciate the review officials wanting to make sure they get this right.
Caleb Huntley now in the backfield. Malik Dunner goes to the right side. Miles under center. They'll give to Huntley. Bangs in, stopped right at the goal line, continues to push, but he'll be short of pay dirt.
And that's what you got to like. Your running back, his legs never stop until he goes to the ground. Most guys would have just stopped right there, but look at this across the front run, the 6'2 defense, and just nothing opening. But this play, look at, he's still trying to get in there, and that's what you love. You want that fight in your running back because as a lineman, I know I can fight for you if you're going to fight for me if I miss a block.
Huntley, the freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia. They'll go from the shotgun. High snap. Huntley bangs his way in. Touchdown. Caleb Huntley's second career TD.
And a great job here running the zone again. If you just look at it, this is a great job here. You get a body on a body, and then you just allow that running back to take his guy. He took his right guard out with him, threw a little button back into that to make sure he got the extra yardage to get into the end zone. But a very forceful run and a great drive for this Ball State offense.
And the extra point. Morgan Hagee set to kick the PAT, and it is good. So Morgan Hagee 14 of 15 on point afters, but we are tied in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Since 2014, Western Kentucky 18-3 at home. The only losses to UAB, Vandy, and Louisiana Tech last week. Very impressive drive for Ball State on their last possession, and they did it with such confidence and such ability to run and throw the football. 6 plays, 64 yards. They did it in 3:26.
And it's a great job to answer the Western Kentucky touchdown with another touchdown of their own.
Kylan Towner, they're going to keep it away from him, number 8. 2-time All-Conference USA kickoff return, but he gets the opportunity. Here's Towner. Scampers his way up over the 25 to the 27, 24 yards on the return. Comes in averaging about 32 yards on kickoff returns. Now let's see how Western Kentucky answers.
Yes, now this is going to be the important thing. You think first 3 games, Western Kentucky has had to punt, and now this game they do a pooch kick, give a great field position, they answer it with the score. Now here's where the true guts of this team. This is really what I consider the true first drive. When you have to drive the length of the field and not get a short field, and we'll see the poise of Mike White in this Hilltopper offense.
Well, Mike Sanford said after that Louisiana Tech loss, he said adversity reveals who you are, reveals your character, and who the leaders on the team are.
Too many men on the field. Running back, fullback trying to get out the field at the last minute, didn't get the call, and you're already starting behind the bowling ball. These are the mental errors you got to minimize. Now, granted, Ball State has their own, but now Western Kentucky has theirs, backs them up back almost to the 20-yard line.
But you do have Mike White, Conference USA Newcomer of the Year last season, 37 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. Goes to work in the air, pinpoint accuracy complete. Xavier Lane on the reception. That's his 3rd of the ball game already.
And a great job here. He has plenty of space. The defensive back is respecting his speed by giving him a 10-yard cushion. Mike White identifies that. A little slight roll to the left, pitch and catch, and you're looking at 2nd and 5, being ahead of the chains, being on schedule.
Well, he was targeted 10 times versus Louisiana Tech. He had 5 receptions, and again, he's got 3 so far tonight. The run game, right side, spun around is Moses, and he'll get the first down up to the 38-yard line. This offensive line, think about it, 3 of the 5 are basically new this year.
Yeah, and you look at here, great job of the zone. Tight end misses the block on the backside, the cutoff on the backside, but because you have such strong legs and Trigg, he's able to power through that and get an additional 4 to 5 yards to get the first down for the Hilltoppers.
And a little flea flicker. White looks, throws into the flat, short hops with pass intended for Lane. Boy, he was wide open, Max.
Mike White wishes he had that pass back almost immediately, flicking his hand as though, man, I had that. You look right here, running what I love is called the old hand back pass.
Yep.
So quarterback hands it off to the running back, and then he pitches it back. Clean pocket here, plenty of time. He sees it, kind of throws it a little bit off kilter, but he knew he had it, and there's the hand flick. That's the old hand flick right there.
There you go. That's my
because
bad.
I should have had that.
Drew Eccles checks back in at quarterback, and he'll run the option. This time he hands it off. Eccles looper, left side over the 40. They'll mark him down at about the 41-yard line. Cameron Eccles looper, the graduate out of Ennis, Texas. Arkansas State, graduated from there and got to come over here as Mike White comes in. How about Ennis, Texas? Graham Harrell, offensive coordinator of North Texas. His dad, the head coach at Ennis, Texas.
Oh, wow.
See, I got all this minutia tonight for you, right?
All of this. This is a great broadcast.
Do you know who Lee Horsley is?
No, see, I do not. See, there we go. You dug way too deep in that bag of tricks.
Matt Houston, come on. White comes back into quarterback facing 3rd down and 7, and he'll put it up. Into the flat, first down, nice catch. And again, Xavier Lane. Obviously, he's the target tonight. 4 receptions already.
Yeah, you're sensing he's giving the feed me sign, the Zeke Elliott sign. And right here, great pass protection, nobody in his face, pitch and catch to the outside. And Xavier Lane, you know, he's had a dose of the drops, but he's made some clutch plays already early in this game. Catching it when he doesn't have to think about running upfield. When it's more of a possession type catch.
6 receptions coming into the game. He's got 4 today. Play action, White fakes, down the middle's got a man. Caught inside the 20, Cameron Eccles looper.
What a tremendous job. Loses a shoe in the process. It still wants more yardage. I mean, right here, look at this. Great play fake. Line is staying up there. And then Looper comes out the backside leaking on the deep crosser. Look, not down yet, and keeps trying to go. Great job here. Look at that Fitz. Look at that Fitz running the hula hoop. The right tackle is running the hula hoop. That's what we talk about when you want to have anything successful. Run the hula hoop with the defensive end.
Goes for 34, the longest of his career here at Western Kentucky. White, great patience, picked off. Only his second interception of the season. And an outstanding defensive play by Ball State, picking off Damon Singleton. His first career interception.
And everything leading up to this play, let's watch it here. I mean, just undercuts the route. The running back's trying to run a seam route out the outside, and Singleton senses it, cuts underneath. Look at this. Boom, right in front of it, gets the ball, and then just starts running. And that's something that you won't see that often from Mike White. He had a vision, but running back, I mean, you can't stop the linebacker from making a great play. He's running on the outside, but then just decides at the last minute, let me just jump in front of this guy and jump the route. Makes a great decision, and Ball State has the ball. They stopped a drive that was looking pretty good, starting from their own 22.
They were one of 4 teams in the FBS that had no returning linebackers. Run by Dunner, and to complete that thought, talking to the coaches about that, they said, listen, Singleton, Jacob White, who's playing with a cast on his hand, they paid their dues. They're good football players. We weren't worried about the fact we weren't coming back with any linebackers.
Yeah, we talked to the defense coordinator. He's, they told him that, and he was like, what are you talking about? Look at these guys. They've all been here. They're seasoned guys. It's not like we're putting true freshmen out there. Guys paid their dues, and now they're in a position to be successful. And right there, that's paying off, getting an interception.
Final seconds, and they're probably not going to get this play off, and they won't. By the way, the defensive coordinator for Ball State, David Elson, former head coach at Western Kentucky. But that's going to do it for quarter number 1. Both teams have been very impressive so far in this football game. 132 total yards, Western Kentucky, 91 for Ball State. We're tied at 7, second quarter straight ahead. For the first time this season, Western Kentucky scored on their opening possession, but Ball State answered. We're tied at 7 as we head to quarter number 2. For the most comprehensive team-by-team coverage across the NFL, join Dave Ross and 2-time Super Bowl champion Brian McFadden for the most timely news and in-depth analysis on Inside the League. You can see it weekdays at 4 p.m. only on WatchStadium.com. How about them Cowboys?
I got them Monday night.
our producer, the Laminator,
yes,
a.k.a. John Claybrook, huge Cowboy fan.
Yes, he is.
And they play your Cardinals on the Mondays.
I know. It's a rubber match for us.
I can't get used to saying your Cardinals when you're a Steeler.
I know.
Sorry. Second down. Milas has the pass complete. That'll be good enough for a first down, close to the 40-yard line. You know, you look at this offense, they're pro style for Ball State, but they can also be multiple.
Yeah, they're doing such a great job. Look at this here. It's funny how all of the defensive backs are respecting these wide receivers, giving them the cushion that they do, and these short, just quick-hitting slant routes are successful. And that also builds the confidence for Jack Milas as a backup quarterback that he's having such a high completion percentage.
Milas, 4 completions, 4 different receivers so far tonight, and another first down. They'll go with 4 wides. Coming out of the backfield, pass complete. That's going to be a loss of about 6. Caleb Huntley had no shot on that play.
And it was an absolute laser. When this guy came down right here. Plenty of time for Milas throwing the swing right out to Huntley. And then legs meet arms, and tackle is delivered on there for no gain.
Well, that was DeCorian Darden. They call him Coco, I think, right now. Huntley probably calls him Oh No.
I see what you did there.
That was good. Don't try that at home, by the way. Milas hands off left side, big hole. Huntley this time gets over the 40, close to the 43-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 9 on the play.
And what a tremendous job by the offensive line here, running outside zone to the left. And look at that big hole. Right guard pulls through, secures the linebacker. Huntley reads it, and blasts through, gets the yardage he lost, plus some, and puts them in a third and medium situation.
Well, opponents are 50% on the year against this Western Kentucky defense. Ball State 1 of 2 tonight. 4 on the line of scrimmage for the Hilltoppers. They bring 4. Milas has time, throws, crossing pattern caught. Penalty flag thrown in the backfield. It'll be close to the first down, but it'll be a hold against Ball State.
I don't like when I see linemen holding. You got too many opportunities here, and
Holding.
just a great
Offense.
job.
Number 58. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
They only average 3 penalties a game, and that is the second tonight.
Yeah, we're going to look at here. It's right. Yeah, it's on Matt Nord here. You look, he's right here and comes inside to see the hand play. He misses with his right hand and goes and lays on top of the guy. That's a clear-cut hold right there. Even though he's not grabbing the jersey, he's affecting the rusher's lane.
Were you able to forget about holding penalties when you went back to the huddle?
What holding penalties?
I just put the ball on the tee and
Yes,
let
you
you
did.
hit it, didn't I?
Oh, man, T-ball in Major Leagues.
You got it. 3rd down and 15. Milas scrambling. Little shuttle pass. Up to the 40. Goes short of the first down as he crosses the 45 up to the 47. Now that'll probably be a first down. Nope, it'll still be about a yard short. Good job by Dunner picking up 14 on the play.
What a great job by Milas as well to keep his eyes upfield when the pocket is collapsing. He steps up, then breaks free, and he has that Aaron Rodgers kind of little just a little tossed shovel pass, and he almost gets the first down. I mean, he got a lot of yardage back, so it's great for them. Even though they're punting, they get to flip the field defensively and give their defense a long field to work with.
Well, Snyder will kick it away to Fant. Little rugby style. Fant points, says get away from it. And it'll get close to the 15-yard line, and that's where they'll knock it down, a 39-yard kick. With that, we'll take a break. Tied up at 7 in the second here at Bowling Green, Kentucky. Ball State, a young team, only 13 seniors on the 2 deep, but they're hanging tough right now here in the early going. One thing head coach Mike New focused on for the players coming into 2017 was playing with more confidence, but he admitted to us this week that between years 1 and 2, players do get more confidence because they know you, they know the system, they know the assistant coaches.
Well, and they know you're not leaving. Because, they still have a sour taste in their mouth when your previous coach leaves and you have to deal with a new coach and you don't really feel at home. And he's done a great job of making these players feel at home going into year 2.
I'll tell you, he's a very impressive man, talking to Mike New and his entire coaching staff. Very energetic. Here's Trigg, bounces right side, gets over the 20-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 5 on the play. The more I see Trigg, the sophomore out of Glasgow, Kentucky, the more I like this young man.
I mean, he's doing a great job here. You're running more of a zone scheme on this play. I know they're a more man gap scheme. Running the zone, dipping his head inside, trying to get those linebackers to stick so that he can cut to the outside. And right there you saw he got good yardage because he did that.
I like Mike Sanford on Thursday telling me when I was talking about the running back situation, he goes, I feel very confident about our situation. In other words, these guys are good.
Yes, they are.
And here's White. Looks at the crossing pattern. Got it. Be short of the first down. Maybe only about a 2-yard pickup to Lucky Jackson.
But this is a good thing when you're looking at this. Lucky Jackson just coming with a little short crosser coming across the screen, and he's attached with a guy on top of him and still makes the contested catch. And that's what's going to build confidence for these receivers. Making catches, and especially contested ones, is going to lead to bigger gains later in this game.
That's the first catch for Lucky Jackson in this ball game. Brings up a 3rd down and short. And White will put it up, the quick pass, first down, up over the 30 to the 35, still on his feet, Macarius Fant.
And a great job here by Fant. He's going to be on the inside slot here on the right-hand side of the offense, runs a little stop route, catches it, and then just explodes through. Just a great job. Just look at the time he has. Offensive line doing a great job. Tackles running cut blocks on the outside because it's a quick throw and making a great completion right inside the seam.
7 different receivers have now caught a pass. How about a little wildcat to Baker? Baker picks up about 2 on the play. That pickup, by the way, Fant was 17 yards. Here's the direct snap again to Quentin Baker.
There's a great job here. A little off-right action, and running back just takes it. Nice carry-out fake by the quarterback, Mike White, to the right.
Well, Baker was injured last week, got carried off the field. Saw him yesterday, and he said he was sore. That was about it, but the coaches said he looked really good in practice this week. They called him healthy. 2nd and 8. White, good protection over the middle. Pass incomplete. Rifled it maybe a little too hard to Dion Yelder. We talked about Quentin Baker, the sophomore from Ashland, Kentucky. We weren't sure if it's his ribs, but the way he took that shot, Max, I have to think it was.
And it looked like ribs, and he was down on the ground, and you have to wonder, you can't say it's a wrist in that position.
No.
That's a breathing issue. I've been there a couple times in my career, but it wasn't because of a hit. It was more so because of a long drive.
Well, he was the number 2 rusher last season for the Hilltoppers, and now they face 3rd down and long. They need 8. 5 of 6 on 3rd down. Make it 6 of 7. Outstanding reach by Lucky Jackson. He picks up 8, uses the arm to get the first down.
It gave me a Harlem Globetrotter type of feel there. Lucky Jackson shakes to the outside. Great job on that comeback. Look at the juke, look at the moves. Curly Neal gets it over across the line.
I like that. Jackson had 144 yards receiving in game number 1 this season, so we know he's capable. Changing formations a little bit. White, play action, saw something in the coverage, pass caught inside the 25, Xavier Lane. His 5th reception tonight, he picks up 25.
Talk about wow on this play. You look, trying to make sure everything was good, pocket clean, and just a nice little toss across the top as Lucky Jackson beats the defender, falling down, and Xavier Lane's able to haul that play in. What a great job on concentration.
Season and career high. Fant looks for some running room, spins to the 20. 25 yards on Lane's reception, the best this season. Fant picks up 4.
Mike White liked this matchup on the outside. That's why he threw what we call a now pattern, where the receiver's sitting there. He knows the guy's in off coverage, and he has a blocker to the outside, a little stack formation, and makes the catch. And great job by the wide receiver to keep it, hold his block so he can make some room for Fant to get some yardage.
Well, Mike White is a perfectionist. We saw it in practice on Thursday, and the way he pinpointed that defense on that last pass play. Moses takes a big hit, gets down to about the 16-yard line for a pickup of 4. And that's what was so impressive about Mike White. We were watching him in practice on Thursday. The way he went about his practice, you know the old saying, practice perfectly?
Yeah.
He did. He absolutely blew us away, including one NFL scout who wasn't going to stay for the game tonight, saw him and said, I'm staying. Here's White. Spins away, still on his feet. Spins away from another, but finally goes down at the 22-yard line. That'll be back at the original line of scrimmage. There'll be a loss of 6.
Mike White was a little upset about that one. I mean, he did everything in his power. But you just look at the pressure came too fast up the middle. Guy is on his leg, spins out of 1, spins out of a 2nd, but just can't spin out of that 3rd one. And this is what we talked about. If the protection is clean, Mike White's going to pick you apart. But if you allow that pressure to get to him, it's tough sledding, even though he did a great job of evading 2 defenders.
Ryan Nuss, as long as 44. This will just be over 40. Good hold, good snap, and that is 3.
8-ball corner pocket. That's all you can ask for.
And Western Kentucky regains the advantage, 10-7 with 6:28 to play in the half.
Big Red is the greatest mascot there is, but he's Big Red. I mean, you don't have to compare him to anything because he's one in a million.
Big Red is my 2-year-old son Gunner's best friend. It's a spirit. It's a mascot. It's Hilltopper Nation. That's what it is. It represents Bowling Green. It represents WKU.
He is a funny mascot. Now, there are some, Max, and we're not going to mention any names. We don't want to embarrass anybody.
Yeah.
We're a little creeped out by him.
Yeah.
Our producer.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't describe, Big Red. I mean, some people say he looks like already been chewed bubble gum. He's the ghost of the hill here in Western Kentucky. There's so many different myths about him. but he's just Big Red.
Oh, he's got my stomach, I can tell you that. Leonard takes it about 3 yards deep, lets it go. And let's see how Ball State can answer. But when you look at Ball State, Jack Milas making his first start since 2015. He has been very impressive tonight. 6 of 8, 108 yards passing the football. He's got a quarterback rating of 188.4. Anybody would take that.
A lot of starting quarterbacks out there in Division I football can't even accomplish that on their team. So for him to come in as a backup and just really take control of this offense and make it feel like it's his own through a quarter and a half of play is just impressive. He just needs to add one more stat in that lineup there. Just needs a TD.
Well, once again, James Gilbert, the leading rusher last season, would have come into this game over 2,100 career rushing yards, out with an injured hand. That hurts their run game. Here comes the pressure. Milas does a good job, just throws it away. It'll be incomplete. Kind of hesitated almost a little too long, Max.
He sat in it a little bit too long. He had a read early on. I felt in the inside slot. But three-man rush there, allowing him great vision for the pocket. But you look at right here, three-man rush, defensive end dropping off the edge. But that means 8 guys are in the backfield defending those 5 wide receivers and couldn't find anybody open in time. Good defensive call by defensive coordinator Clayton White for Western Kentucky. Simple ground game over the right side is Huntley. I want to go back to that blocking. When you're an offensive lineman and you know the pass hasn't been thrown and you're back there, you're blocking. What are you thinking? Are you counting to yourself?
No, you're not counting. You're just praying, don't let the quarterback be behind me. Don't let the quarterback be behind me. Don't let me be the guy that gave them the pressure for that. And they held up pretty well. I mean, 3 on 5 are good odds, but chances of him finding an open receiver are slim to none.
3rd down and 4. Ball sitting at just over the 30-yard line. Milas straight drop, pressure comes deep out into the flat, pass incomplete. Would have been a 1st down and then some, but it was a tough pass to catch for Justin Hall, the freshman out of Douglasville, Georgia.
Yeah, and the blitz here coming from the top of your screen, little twist route on the inside with the linebacker off the edge, forcing that pass a little bit fast. Milas can't step through it and almost has it. What a great job of breaking the pass up, Hilltoppers, number 15.
Now, one thing that defensive coordinator Clayton White wanted to do was attack the front of Ball State. We saw he did there. Fant standing at the 30. Here comes the rush again. I think Western Kentucky may have seen something on tape. A couple times they've rushed the punter. Fant gets a denture check, and that may be a targeting call.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. And it looked very close to the helmet. Wait for the replay to see that. But you can't go anywhere near the head. He makes a football move, and that's helmet to helmet. That's targeting.
I think that's a pretty easy call.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy call. And it didn't look like he altered his course at all. That, usually when an offensive player kind of ducks at the last minute, it's questionable, but he's at a consistent height, and he just leads with that helmet, and you can't do that on any level. That's unacceptable, and he's getting up all excited right now, but Martin's going to have to probably lead this game.
Targeting. Number 26, kicking team. A penalty is under review.
Well, they're always going to review it because obviously he'd have to leave the game and sit out an entire game. Here it is again, better angle maybe. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a denture check there. You make sure all your fillings are there.
And that's also to check to make sure that mouthpiece is still in place.
Yeah.
You know it's inferred that you need to keep your mouthpiece in. That one right there, that's a mouth guard check.
And you and I were talking about it earlier because we saw a report earlier this week that targeting calls are up over 50% this season. But we saw one, for instance, in the Texas A&M Arkansas game from Jerry's World in Dallas today. You and I both thought that was not a targeting call. And once again, in fast motion, sometimes it looks like a targeting call. I think that's pretty clear cut, but when you slow it down, sometimes you see him hitting the shoulder pad.
You see a shoulder hit, and sometimes it's tough because if you get hit in that shoulder region, it tends to make your neck go back, so the helmet looks like it's getting affected. But right here, that's a clear helmet. You can hear the sound of 2 helmets clacking together. Other times, it's a shoulder, and it's just a powerful hit. But in this instance,
Yeah, that's targeting all the way. He never altered his course, never tried to move his helmet out of the way.
Right.
He was a bullet at that point.
So right now, Paul Schmidt, our replay official, is going to be communicating with Justin Elliott, the referee. But from our angle and that replay right there, it looked like targeting. And considering everything that's going on now in the National Football League and the concern for brain injury, you know, you got to hit low. And you've got to get that ingrained in you. Aim low. You got to get it ingrained in you at all times.
And here's how it's being taught in the NFL level. Look for the belt buckle.
Yeah.
Look for the belt buckle. Stop looking at the numbers, because that's what you're taught to look at for all those years, especially
Exactly.
when I played. Look at the numbers, hit the number, put your face in the numbers. But now, with guys changing their body direction, trying to tilt, and guys are more athletic, they're getting lower. So you got to look for that belt buckle.
Well, the decision has been made, and the verdict is in.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 26 is disqualified. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the play. First down, Western Kentucky. Timeout.
Brandon Martin, the linebacker. So he's going to have to go out. He was the starting Sam linebacker. We've got 5:18 left in the half. They've been riddled with injuries. Now they have a player having to leave the game. Ball State behind the 8 ball again. Brandon Martin, the sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, out because of targeting. They were already without starting right quarterback Mark Walton out with an injury. So we talked about the 4 offensive starters out because of injury. Now there are 2 starters out on defense.
6 guys total. That makes it tough on this team, but that's what football's about. It's about a next man up mentality. So backup, Sam Backer's going to have to come to this game. Michael Robinson and fill the void that Brandon Martin leaves.
Here, Robinson, just a freshman out of Kennesaw, Georgia, gateway to Marietta, Georgia. And Mike White will go to work. Let's see if he goes to work on the linebackers right in the middle and on the strong side. White looks, throws the deep out. Good defensive play. I'll tell you what, that was a strong defensive play by Josh Miller, the left quarterback out of Indianapolis. He read that from the get-go.
Yeah, Josh Miller did a great job, but what also made this play hurry up was the cross dog ran by the Ball State defense up the middle, kind of contorting and distorting Mike White's view trying to deliver that pass.
Josh Miller, his 3rd pass broken up this season. 2nd down and 10 for White and company. Looks right, throws right, pass caught, first down and then some. Xavier Lane with his 6th reception of the year, matching his total through the first 3 games. He picks up a dozen.
And right here, straight rush here, 4-man rush. Mike White has clear shot at Xavier Lane. And Xavier Lane, I mean, just doing a great job tonight, getting targeted and hauling in catches.
He's a big target at 6'4". Up the middle, tripped up is Marquez Trigg. And again, there we see the passing of White, setting up the run, keeping the Ball State defense off balance.
And this is a great job staying balanced throughout this. And really quick count there.
White looks, throws, pass off the fingertips of Fant.
Couldn't get it off. They had a great job quick snapping it before Ball State could get set. Mike White had a clear running lane. It was amazing that he didn't just tuck it and just go right up the field to get some yardage. You're 2nd and short. You could have had an easy first down with the yardage that was available to him, but he wanted to go for the big home run play. He just puts it a little bit outside of his reach.
Here's head coach Mike Sanford, 31 years old, but you know when he talked about it, spent a lot of time with him yesterday. He said our guys got to make plays in space. So far in this first half with 4:26 left, they've made plays in space.
They've done it, and they've had explosive plays in space.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing that they said they were lacking coming into this game was explosive plays, and they're doing it right now in the first half.
Well, it's 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. White rifling the pass inside the 10, inside the 5, reaching for the goal line. Out of bounds at about the 1 for Lucky Jackson.
And Lucky Jackson, he's so upset.
So close.
Okay, is he okay? Is he okay? Okay. Had to take a second to catch his breath. But just look at the job here. racing to the corner, stiff arm, slide, stays inbound, and almost gets it, but that left foot steps right on the white before he can complete that leap.
Well, he picked up 19 on the play. Lucky Jackson. Let's look at it
Let's
again.
go one more time right here.
Up,
He's
up,
going.
up.
Oh, wow.
Hang on.
Hold on. Ah,
Boy,
right there.
that's
Right there's
close.
close. That's a close one.
Well, they're going to review it.
Previous points under review.
You have to see it from this angle, but it's still.
That's too tough
I don't
to
know.
call
It's,
right
yeah,
there.
it's too tough to call. I don't think that's definitive.
Yeah, I can't see black on the white. You know, they have black cleats on, and you're looking at the white stripes on the side, and I can't see any dirt being displaced or the foot on the white clearly. But it has to be conclusive for them to overturn their decision. And I don't know if even slowing it down, you can really get a good look there. I mean, it looks like he's still in bounds, and the foot kind of flicks out when he's in the air. Take one more look here. Good stiff arm. Face mask there that got passed up. And he still keeps his balance. And then right about here, this is the step that's going to determine it. And as he comes, it looks in bounds.
That does, doesn't it?
It looks, unless right there his foot kind of flared out the last second, the defender kind of went low at his legs, if they're calling that the spot. But I felt like he was already in the air.
Boy, I tell you, when he came down awkwardly, and we were afraid he may have been injured.
Yeah. Anytime you go airborne as a player and there's bodies around you, you have to be concerned for those legs.
Now that's what they're looking at. You're looking at the replays that the replay officials are also looking at right now.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to overturn, but I understand if they would overturn it. If that makes sense.
I do as well.
Here we go.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Well, it wasn't confirmed, but it stands.
Yes.
Drew Eccles didn't like it. He had the smile. He thought it was a touchdown, and I think Lucky thought it was a touchdown. How about Lucky Jackson? That's a great stat. 5 targets, 3 receptions between Jackson and Xavier Lane. It has been a successful night. Now it is 1st and goal for Western Kentucky. They're 7 of 9 in the red zone coming into this game. All were touchdowns. They don't try to go for the field goal. They want to punch it in.
And right here, there's another opportunity where they want to punch it in. They got a fullback in there for a reason. And leading the charge, not much there.
Trigg is stacked up right in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Nothing going on. Good job by Jacob White, number 2, the linebacker. That is the club, as the coaches were telling us. David Elson says he's going to wear a club on Saturday night.
And it looks like he drew on his club. It looks like a little shark there or something. And it says win.
See,
clearly.
We're about a month away from Halloween. He just has a hook to it.
Exactly.
He's got the pirate.
It's like a snake hand almost.
2nd down and goal. White again, handoff left side. Touchdown, Marquez Trigg.
And insert body on train tracks. It gets ran over. The ball is supposed to go right here between the B gap. You got a lead fullback coming here to lead the way. And this is power I football at its finest. Collapses, look at the lane. 42 keeps his feet going. And you follow the directions, and you can't stop the train when it's on the tracks. And what a great job by Marquez Trigg to pound it in for the touchdown.
225-pound sophomore with his 2nd touchdown run of the year, 4th of his career. And the extra point by Nelson is perfect. 9 of 9 kicking PATs this year. But Marquez Trigg and company, outstanding drive, 47 yards, 6 plays, took just under 2 minutes. Well, they wanted to start fast, scored on their opening possession. I think finishing a quarter fast is probably the second mantra they'd want.
Yeah, that would be number 2 on my list, is how do you finish out a half? Is do you have the power to finish out this half? Because you know second half is all about enthusiasm and guts. And right here doing a great job with a little over 3 minutes left on the clock, punching in a touchdown, not settling for a field goal, and that red zone opportunity is a great sign. So now they're at 80% in the red zone. 7 of 9 before that, putting them to 8 of 10.
You know what stands out though, Max, the touchdown drives for Western Kentucky, 57 yards and 47 yards. They've operated on a short field.
And that's a testament to that Hilltopper defense putting Ball State in positions where they got to, kick the ball and forcing them out on drives and not letting them get into the red zone because they know they're deadly in there.
It'll come back out to the 25-yard line. There's the Hilltoppers rush defense. Tonight they've allowed only 27 yards. You see on the season, 97 only.
Second in FBS. That's a strong statement considering all the good defenses that are out there in NCAA. And they're number 2 on that list. Testament to Coach Clayton White and his philosophy. And you look at their 4-2 defense. I really like his 4-2 nickel concept. And they do a great job of stopping the run.
And now Jack Milas and company, 319 to work with. Right side, they have had a little success on the ground as Dunner gets over the 35-yard line. That'll be good for a first down. He picks up 11. Good job by that revamped offensive line.
Offensive line does a great job on the inside zone. The right guard climbs to look for the linebacker and just absolutely gives Dunner plenty of space to get the first down.
And we've got a player down for Western Kentucky. And you hate seeing that.
Yeah, and that guy, I think that looks like defensive tackle Evan Sainer.
I think you're right.
55.
That is Jalen Madden, the redshirt freshman from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Okay.
Didn't have any tackles coming into tonight. They were alternating as many as 8 defensive linemen tonight because it is hot and humid, and they're going to take a look at that right leg. I want to talk about that offensive line, though, for Ball State. Vinny Palizzetti, the starting left guard, he is out. He twisted his knee in the last game. You had to move Curtis Blackwell, the backup right guard, over to left guard. And as an offensive lineman, when you start making all these switches on the O-line, talk about the flow and the confidence you have in the guy next to you.
You look at this, and it's a big blow because Vinny Palizzetti means so much. He's considered one of the toughest Ball Staters. And we've got something right here. Jalen Madden. If you look right here, he's right here on this side of your screen. And as he goes, you're going to see that knee. And not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight. Happy that he can at least get up and walk on his own power. But scary moment there for the redshirt freshman, shaking that knee off.
I was really looking forward to Vinny Palizzetti playing tonight just because I wanted to say his name. And in all my career, he's the first offensive lineman that really wanted to grow up to be a bowler, which I thought was a great story. Left side, no gain, maybe a yard for Malik Dunner.
And just absolute laser by Drell Green there.
Yeah.
Who sniffed it out, running the zone play. And, that's the one thing about the zone is when you have these gaps and the running back has to make a decision from a safety position, you can see that.
Right.
And you know where the wide zone is, but it's whether you can hit it at the right angle before he disappears. And right there, Drell Green made a great read, great play, great tackle.
Now the corners are pressing the wide receivers. Milas goes outside, incomplete, but once again, it started out with a press because DeAndre Ferris was right on the intended receiver, Riley Miller. Didn't have a whole lot of room to go.
Didn't have a lot of room to go. Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on the double move. Kind of went in, tried to fake that hook. It kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
And ball was in the air, so he couldn't recover to that. Great job by Ferris to really force him back to the inside, not give him the outside lane.
Third down defense, much improved this year from last year for Western Kentucky. 3rd down and 9 for Ball State. They're just 1 of 4 so far tonight. Press coverage again continues. They stack 2 wide receivers, top and the bottom of your screen. Timeout called.
Good decision by Jack Milas here.
Very
Saw
much
something
so.
He didn't like. Top of the screen, they were running what we call the triangle defensively, so there was an opportunity for a guy to blitz in that situation. Milas probably didn't like his hot read off of that, so go to the sideline, get the right play. You got 2:22 left in this quarter. You don't want to be in a position, it's 3rd and long. You want to try and convert this. So
Well, get exclusive access to the latest recruiting news and insider reports from colleges across the country with Campus Insiders. Join Ray Crawford and former Florida State cornerback Bryant McFadden for Campus Insiders. Weekdays at 4:30 only on WatchStadium.com. And I wonder how Bryant McFadden is feeling today. You're not crying a tear because Florida State lost. But I wonder.
He's my former teammate, good friend.
Okay, all right.
But we don't talk when it comes to college football.
There you go. Okay. Third down, we'll call it almost 10. 3 wide receiver set, bottom of your screen. 4-man pressure. They're moving in on Miles. He lets it fly deep out, first down. Close to the 50, up to the 49-yard line.
Great protection up front here by the Cardinal offensive line, giving Jack Miles plenty of time. Look at it here. Got a 4-man rush here. Bodies on bodies, and a free guy do a little extra freelance work there at the right guard position. Gets the ball off, plenty of time. Like the decision that they made going from that twin stacks before the timeout and going to a 3-by-1 to the field.
Well, Corey Lacanaria with his first reception. He's been a staple of this program. A little pitch with 1:52 to play in the quarter. They'll pick up almost 6 on the play, about 5.5 for Caleb Huntley. We mentioned earlier that he committed to Western Kentucky, Huntley did. And then the coaching change with Jeff Brom, of course, going to Purdue. And I'm not sure if he decommitted right at the coaching change or what, but he's playing for Ball State now. Here's Huntley again, and he'll get the first down at the 40. Impressive doing this on the ground.
And they're doing it from a huddle fast position. No huddle, staying on the line, kind of in 2-minute mode right now. We've got about 1:20 left. They got to hurry up, keep going, get these formations in because they have something that they like offensively against this Hilltopper defense.
50 yards rushing for Ball State as we go to 65 seconds left in the second. Miles, long, deep out, pass caught Lacanaria, his second reception. He has been a staple of this program. Coming into the game, he had 109 career receptions.
And Lacanaria doing a great job here. Wasted a little bit of time with the juke action, but he found his way back to the outside to get right outside to move the sticks.
Out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. 1:01 to play, 17-7 our score. We were tied at 7. 10 straight points for Western Kentucky in the second. Western started to show blitz, and here they come. Miles steps up, and he is going down.
Great job with the blitz here. You'll see it coming on the bottom of your screen, and it's a great job here. Evan Sainer really moving the inside of the pocket. Linebacker and safety blitz through. Sainer retraces and applies the pressure to Jack Miles, putting him down, putting the Hilltoppers in a great position to defend this third down.
First sack of the night for this Western Kentucky defense, 4th of the year, 4th given up by Ball State. And for Sainer, that is his first sack of the season.
And Sainer's one of those guys, he's an every down guy. You know, Clayton White talked about this in the defensive meeting yesterday, that when you're talking about guys you want to focus on, Evan Sainer's that guy. He's the guy who has the motor. He is the individual who's not going to stop, and right there, that nonstop motor pays off with a sack.
I love what he called him, Kentucky Strong.
Yes.
I didn't know if he was talking about bourbon or is he talking about his play. But
exactly. You see, there's no big bicep muscles there.
No.
But there's a very experienced abdominal section.
Well, we've got 46 seconds left in the half, 3rd down and 3. Miles will hand it off. Huntley loses the football. Still loose. Western Kentucky's got it.
What a tremendous job. Now you look at just the job done to really strip. We go in the replay here. Running zone play to the right-hand side. Huntley's there. And then you see the big paw. Big paw by number 4 for the Hilltoppers.
Iggy.
Big Iggy. How could I miss that? I mean, just look at this right here. The punch. Just great job. Puts it right on the football. Huntley can't find it. It's on the ground. And Iggy forces the fumble. Plus he recovers the fumble. 2 stats,
okay,
1 play.
I'll let you get by with Iggy once. You're going to say Joel Iyiegbuniwe before the night's over?
I'll give it to you by the end of the night.
Okay, there you
It
go.
won't happen the rest of this quarter, though.
First fumble recovery for the Western Kentucky defense this season. They forced 6. They hadn't gotten any. White, pass over the throne and overthrown, intended for Lucky Jackson. But just looking at this offense, 6 receptions by Xavier Lane, 3 by Jackson. He's got like 7 different receivers he's hit. That's spreading the ball around.
That is spreading the ball around. That's not getting a beat. And think about this. As many as he still completed to Xavier Lane.
Yeah.
On top of that, and he still hit 7 different receivers.
And Xavier Lane had a couple of drops.
Yes. It's incredible.
34 seconds left. White, pass, knocked away. Outstanding defensive play intended for Yelder. I'll tell you, that is called anticipation. Coming up is Lamar Anderson, the sophomore out of St. Louis. The coaches were very high on him when we spent time with him.
Yes, he was, and you see why, because this kid is around the football a lot and causing disruption to the receivers. And you just look at Mike White, though. Let's take this into consideration. He's throwing a lot in the middle, throwing a lot of contested passes. He's feeling confident.
Yeah.
But you want to get him in more one-on-one situations where you throw it to those receivers.
Well, on 3rd down and 10, White will step up in the pocket. Goes deep, has a man far side. That'll be overthrown, intended for Xavier Lane. Do you agree with what Western Kentucky did there? Because you still have 23 seconds left. You're going to have to kick it away.
I would have preferred them to run the clock down, not going consecutive passing plays, because you get that.
Right.
You get hits on your quarterback that are unnecessary right before half, and you're kicking the ball back to the team who still has time. You're backed up on your own 30, and they could have pretty good field position to throw at least 2 passes or so, if not more, towards the end zone.
Well, they've got 1 timeout Ball State has left. Lacanaria standing back, try to kick it away from them, and they're successful at that. They'll mark it out inside the 30-yard line. Officially, they'll put it down at about the 29. That'll be a 40-yard kick. I'll tell you, Jake Collins has done a good job kicking the football and punts tonight for Western Kentucky. Now Ball State takes over with 15 left, 1 timeout remaining.
Look for a lot of outside routes towards the sidelines. It's going to be a good test for this Hilltopper defense in that secondary to really force double brackets along the sidelines to these receivers, to force them towards the sidelines. You don't want them there, but if you're going to run a funnel on them, it's a great job to make a great pre-BU opportunity or an interception if you can force them to the outside.
Now they're going to play it safe and just run the football. Up to the 35-yard line is Dunner. And that'll be a pickup of about 6 on the play, and that's probably going to do it, and it will.
Yep, that's the half.
Well, the Western Kentucky little ones, they like what they've seen in the opening half. Western Kentucky, 236 total yards, 178 for Ball State. Western Kentucky looking for their first win over a team from the FBS. And as we head to halftime, they lead by 10, 17-7.
And welcome inside the stadium studios. I'm Ray Crawford. We'll get you back to the second half of the game in just a few moments. Let's welcome in, though, right now, Hilltoppers women's volleyball head coach Travis Hudson. And, coach, your team just recently won the Buckeye Invitational. What's been the key to your team's success early on here in the season?
Well, we have a lot of veteran players returning on a pretty good roster from last year. And, we struggled a little in the first week or 2 of the season finding ourselves. But, we've had great leadership. We've got kids that have been in big games, and certainly that moment wasn't too big for them. And we're really, really pleased with how we played.
Coach, your team already has 6 Conference Player of the Week awards. Sydney Engel and Jessica Lucas won Defensive Player of the Week and Setter of the Week this past week. What does it mean for your team to have all these great individual performers?
Well, I'm a lot better coach with good players, that's for sure. And, it's nice to see us, making an impact in different phases of the game. With Sydney being the Defensive Player of the Week, we've had an Offensive Player of the Week. Jessica Lucas has kind of owned that Setter of the Week. And so, that's what it takes to be a high-level team, is to have good balance and be able to do a lot of things and find ways to win games. And those individual efforts collectively are what make us a really good team.
Now, as you get into conference play, what will be the biggest challenge moving forward?
Well, I think just making sure we're ready to play every night. There's good volleyball in this league, and we have tremendous respect for a lot of the teams and certainly a lot of the coaches in this league. But we know we're going to get everybody's best shot, when you go out on the road, and we're going to have to just make sure that we're locked in, and that's where the comfort comes from. If we go out and do what we do every night, then I like our chances. If we go out and do what we do every night, then we've given ourselves the best chance to win. And, so that's our challenge, is just to make sure that we're the best version of WKU that we can be every night.
All right, Coach, thanks for being with us. Best of luck to you the rest of the season. And we're going to get you back for the second half in Bowling Green in just a few moments. And a reminder to be sure to tune into Stadium every day on Twitter or on WatchStadium.com. That's also where you can find out how you can watch us over the air in your market.
Pretty good first half for Western Kentucky, looking to even the record of 2-2 on the year. They lead Ball State 17-7. We still have the third and fourth quarter straight ahead, along with former Pittsburgh Steeler Max Starks. I'm Ron Phil. We talked at the top of the show, Western Kentucky's goal coming into this game, starting fast. They not only started fast, opening possession, getting 7, but they finished fast.
Yeah, you sandwich a touchdown, Bun, on the first part of it.
Yep.
And then you bring it out right at the end of the half, and that's finishing strong, putting a field goal in between there. But I thought it was just a consistent and methodical drive by Mike White. Every time they got on the field, obviously, getting in the red zone, throwing the interception was not something that you want. But they've just shown how they've driven the field. And funny enough, they can drive at 70-plus yards, but their touchdown drives have come in 57 and 47 varieties,
right.
So they've scored on more short fields, which is a testament to the Hilltopper defense.
And also the fact that players have made big plays tonight, and that was something else the coaching staff was striving for. We've got a lot of other scores from around Conference USA want to get you caught up on. And we've got Virginia Tech, obviously the winner today. That was a tough game, though, I think, for Old Dominion. Louisiana Tech, they lose in the final 4 seconds. South Carolina kicks a field goal. Charlotte is losing to Georgia State. We've got UAB trailing North Texas 37-21. That game is currently in the third quarter. Other games going on right now. We've got a full slate of Conference USA action. Well, we'll tell you, Florida Atlantic and Buffalo tied up at 17. And Middle Tennessee leading Bowling Green 21-10. And UTSA on top of Texas State 17-7. We'll come back. We'll break down the first half even further with numbers and pictures that are actually in color. It's the 99th season of football at Western Kentucky, and they're playing Ball State tonight. They lead at 17-7. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, because at times Western Kentucky very impressive in that opening half, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, pressure here. Evan Sainer getting the sack. Right here, another handoff. Caleb Huntley balls out. Joel Inyebuniwe with yeah, I said it. And then right there, as you can see, Dion Yelder with a touchdown from Mike White early in the game. That was the first possession on the opening drive. And then right here, just lovely job here, throwing the ball over the top. Raymond Rain having six catches tonight. And then here's the power. That's what we're talking about when you're looking at emphasizing and finishing a half. And there it is, first half stats. You can see Ball State leading in the rushing category, but of course seeing a rushing touchdown there by Western Kentucky. Passing yards is on the Western Kentucky side, starter versus a backup. Total yardage as well, first downs, and the most important stat, third down percentage. Western Kentucky going 67% versus 33% on the Ball State side. And that's why you have a score right now of 17-7. Western Kentucky performing in all the major stat categories.
How about 7 different receivers had receptions, 6 different rushers ran the football. Third quarter straight ahead on Stadium. Bowling Green, a beautiful city, also home to the Corvette Museum, and to get a Super Bowl playing lineman with big rings, you got to give him a Corvette with stadium logo on the side. And Max Starks, I'm closer to 62 than you are, horn-wise.
But
So it should be mine.
it should be yours, but I'll tell you who might deserve a Corvette. These guys. Looking at what they've done tonight, 16 of the team's 28 targets have gone to these two gentlemen, Xavier Lane and Lucky Jackson, 10-6 apiece, and they've capitalized on those opportunities. Over 100 yards between the two of them and 9 receptions.
Well, here's why they had to step up, because they lost their top 3 receivers from last season, Tywan Taylor, Nicholas Norris, and Anthony Wells. And you put in the running back situation, they lost about 70% of their offense from 2016. Somebody had to step up for Western Kentucky this year.
Somebody did. I mean, just think about offensively everything they lost. You lose your starting left tackle as well. Forrest Lamp goes to the league. One of the highest drafted Hilltoppers in most recent history, and the rest of your offensive line. You've juggled 4 guys playing out of position from the year before. And to see what they're doing tonight, doing a great job up front and performing, driving this team. Mike White's did a great job of being the field general for this Hilltopper offense.
I tell you, Mike Sanford has done an outstanding job of putting this team together. And I remember talking to him. We spent some time with each other in July, and he told me that the team was fun to be around. He said the relationships they've built been significant in the short period of time. And you as a professional player, and you and I talked during the breaks about your relationships with other players. That's so important to the success of a team. You had it with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, chemistry is number one when you talk about a team, and especially a new team. How fast can this team come together? How fast can you trust the guy to your left and right? Can you coach the direction of the head coach?
There's Mike, his dad, Mike Sr., also a very successful college head coach in his own right, also part of the staff. And Malik Dunner will take a knee. They'll bring it out to the 25. And special teams tonight, Western Kentucky has done a very good job. Ball State hasn't had a chance to return anything really tonight.
No, they have not. I think that's what's going to be really imperative for them. If they can't get anything generated special teams, you've now got to rely heavily offensively and defensively to change the field against Western Kentucky. And Western Kentucky's done a great job of really holding this Ball State offense at bay, forcing them to punt on every possession except for one.
Right,
and that's a testament to them. And right now they're starting at another long field position, so Ball State has to get this ball moving.
Once again, 4 offensive starters out for Ball State, including starting quarterback Ricky Neal. Jack Milas got the call tonight. Here's Malik Dunner. Barrels his way over the left side. Knee touches down at about the 26-yard line. You know, you go back to Jack Milas and the job he did on that first touchdown for Ball State. We talked about his confidence. You can talk about his confidence. The first game he ever started for Ball State, he threw for 300 yards.
And that's a tremendous guy to have in your back pocket. Yeah. And right now you can see he's feeling very comfortable. Hasn't really had too many issues operating this offense.
8 of 13 throwing the football, facing second down. They'll keep it on the ground again with Dunner being strung out. Takes a big hit as he gets at the 32-yard line. That'll be 2 yards short of the first down after a pickup of 4.
And just running this zone here, Paynish is going to come underneath. That's a common blocking scheme for a center in a zone offense. But look at that knock at the end to the head area. Dunner got a knock to the head, and that ball went loose. So we have to definitely keep an eye on him, make sure he's okay.
Boy, it looked like safety Marcus Ward, number 8, was almost being held on that play. Third down and about 2. Blackened area, bottom of your screen. They'll try it on the run. Hit right at the line of scrimmage, no gain. And looking over at the far sideline, head coach Mike Sanford, he started pumping the fist on that.
Yes, he did. And when your D-line does a job like this, look at filling up the gaps, and then a great fill here by Iggy. I'm not going to say Joel Iyiegbuniwe. Yeah, there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be part of Hooked on Phonics, please call 1-800.
Help Max.
We'll go with that.
That is a special name.
I'll tell you. Marcus Fant, or Martin Necarius Fant, I should say, standing back at the 27-yard line. He is a dangerous return man, and Nathan Snur's done a good job kicking it away. Fant will field this at the 32. Up to about the 40. That'll be about a 7-yard return. But again, good field position for Western Kentucky.
This is something that Ball State, if they want to get back into this football game, they're going to have to figure out a way to flip the field for Western Kentucky and put them deep. Don't continue to put your defense in a position of weakness, and you're giving the ball right around the 40. You know, in the last couple, their scoring drives have all been right in this zone, right around the 40 to 38-yard line starting position, and Mike White has plenty of comfortability starting this far away from his own end zone.
Well, Junior Adams, the offensive coordinator, brought a couple of concepts from Boise State, kept some of the terminology from last year. Here's Moses, stays on his feet, gets up over the 45, pickup of 7 on the play, and that's got to be tough if you're Junior Adams, the O coordinator, because this system under Jeff Brom the last couple of years very successful. And it's one of those things, do you tinker with it, or do you bring in your new system, or do you kind of gradually phase it in?
Yeah, you've got to phase it in slowly and pick out the good parts and get rid of the bad parts, and he's done a good job thus far.
You know, what? One thing we haven't called a lot was Anthony Winbush tonight. Hand off Moses, strings it out, stiff arm. He'll be short of the first down by about a yard.
And a great job by Moses. He got stopped initially on this run, and way to turn it back around. Running a little off-counter screen there, having the fullback come back to the strong side. He follows him, leads on the outside, but just gets stopped just shy of the first down marker. But third and manageable.
Very much so. We mentioned Anthony Winbush. He only has 1 tackle tonight. He had 20 coming into the game. They'll get the first down, not by much, but Trigg uses that big body to get the 1 yard he needed.
Yeah, Trigg kind of just gives a little hop. You know, he knows he only needs about a half a yard or so, and just kind of hops over into the line, extends his body past that first down marker. And that's the most important thing. When you're up in a lead, especially in the second half, slow, controlled, methodical approach when you're on the field, because it's not a true double score situation, but it is a double score situation here because you stop Ball State from scoring on their first possession.
And they've also kept the ball away from Ball State. White, here comes pressure, backside, and he is going down. Loses the football.
He was down.
I thought he was down.
He was down.
And the referee quickly comes in, Justin Elliott, to say he was down.
But amazing here. Ball State did a great job bringing the corner blitz from the top of your screen or the offensive right side, which is usually the quarterback's visual side, and nothing happens here. So right here, this blitz is going to come from right here, and it's just a beeline to Mike White. Mike White usually has the vision to see that, and he's looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield. And you see, there was no chance he could avoid that because his eyes were 46 straight, and what a great job calling that on the defense.
Well, they're going to review it to see if Antonio Phillips, if there was a fumble on the play. By the way, that's the first sack of the night, and Ball State comes in number 9 of the FBS in sacks per game at just under 4. Was that a fumble?
Oh, yeah, it kind of bounced off his offensive lineman, but it looked like his back was already up there by the time. And it looked like he recovered it, actually.
Yeah.
So right here, getting a little pressure. Jimmy Sims is the guy in there. We talked about not hearing Anthony Winbush. He was charging it. But it looks like, from the other angle, it looked like Mike White recovered that football. So we'll see if the referees see it. It would be probably better from the low angle shot. You can't really see it here because a guy gets covered up. But Mike White, it looks like he grabs it in there at the last second.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Second down.
Okay. So we got a confirmation right here. Here's the best angle you're going to see. Guy hops up.
Oh, my.
Hops up, and Mike White snatches it.
He just digs it out.
Yeah. It's a great job. Way to put your face in the fan there, Mike White.
No fear.
Yeah.
The senior out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Spent his first couple of years at the University of South Florida. And the ball will belong to Western Kentucky, but it's second down and a bundle. A loss of 8 on that play. And this is when Mike White is dangerous. Threw for over 4,300 yards last season. White steps up, just dumps it off to Trigg. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, pickup of 8 on the play.
And a great job here by the offensive line. Coming with the twist game to the left side, and it's picked up and switched off perfectly. Mike White is able to kind of step up in the pocket, deliver that pass to Trigg, and you got what you lost on the sack. So it's not 3rd and impossible anymore, it's just 3rd and long.
One thing that Mike White does so well, and coaches call it climbing the pocket. Here comes the pressure. White reads it, quick out, thrown off the fingertips, intended for Lucky Jackson.
So close, yet
yeah,
not quite there yet. Take a look here once again at the passing. Seeing the inside move is what we'll call a slant right. Defensively, plenty of time to deliver that pass, but it's got a little high and a little out of the way of Lucky Jackson's target radius.
And Jay Collins will kick it away from the 35-yard line. 2017 preseason All-Conference USA. Back-end area. Lets it hit at the 5. That is called punt coverage. Down at about the 1-foot line. 49 yards on the kick for Jake Collins. That is the longest this season. We'll be back to Bowling Green after this.
As part of WKU Parents Family Weekend celebration,
Max, you want to take a look at that last punt and how it was down by Western Kentucky. Were the heels in the end zone?
Yeah, if you look at it, coming down, Corian Darden, Coco, is clearly free, but then he steps back, and he hasn't touched the ball yet. We will go a little bit further. He's right over here. Let's show him that heel, this left heel right here, does not look like it's inbounds. It looks like it's right on the line, which technically would be a touchback. But the official on the side was right there. They didn't call it, but very nitpicky, very close if I'm looking at it.
Well, nevertheless, Ball State's got it there.
Watch the cross dog blitz here in the middle.
Just try to get some running room up to about the 5-yard line as Caleb Huntley.
Good job. They just brought 2 backers, kind of what we call a dog. 2 backers kind of just shot their responsible gaps. They didn't twist. Looked like they were getting ready to go into a twist situation.
Well, the good news now, if you're Western Kentucky, Derek Overstreet is allowed to play now in the second half. He was out the first half because of the targeting call versus Louisiana Tech. He had to sit out the first half of this game. He wears jersey number 42. He wasn't even allowed to warm up or come on the field before the game and during the first half. Milas goes up top, pass knocked away, last second. Good defensive play as the ball was floating a little bit in the air.
And Ferris does a great job, almost has the interception. Throws a temper tantrum on the ground. I can appreciate that because he should have had this ball. Look at that, Jack Milas throws it up. Ferris kind of makes a read on it, but the receiver is good enough to grab his shoulder pads at the last second so he doesn't haul it in. But Ferris has been doing a great job tonight of sticking to these receivers, especially Miller, and really causing disruption for their catches.
Making only his 3rd career start, DeAndre Ferris, the junior. And it's 3rd down. They bring 4. Milas throws into the flat pass. They're going to say it was caught at the 11-yard line. That'll be close to the first down.
Yeah, and a good
Justin
job.
Hall on the catch.
Yeah, Justin Hall coming with a nice little comeback hook route to the inside slot.
Boy, I tell you, did he get his hands underneath that?
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure if that's conclusive, but it looked like it bounced.
It did, and you see Mike Sanford is angry on the sidelines, yelling down at the side official to get that review.
So yet another review in this ball game, and they're going to take a look at that.
Yeah, coming right here. Hands are going, but looks, tight, and that ball, you can see that there was a hand under there before him, but the question is, does the ball roll in his hands and does the ground help him secure the catch?
Right.
You know, is there an image that they're going to show? Because right here, it's on his fingertips. He kind of hauls it in. Can't tell from this angle because it's above ground. You got to see from right here might be our best view. Hands are getting underneath. I see that right hand underneath it. So tough.
That's don't know if it's conclusive or not.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to overturn that call.
He did a heck of a job just getting his hands underneath that. If the catch stands, it'll be Justin Hall's second of the ball game. And now they have to sit and wait. Once again, they got the ball at about the 1 yard line officially, and Mike Sanford is not a whole lot pleased with that, I'm sure, but at least he's getting it reviewed.
And that's the most important thing. You know, you have to be a heads-up coaching right here. He is fighting for his guys, and for that, you know, they're showing the replay as well on the field, but it doesn't look that conclusive.
Let's get the word from Justin Elliott.
The ruling on the field stands. First down.
Right call there in that situation. Because, I mean, looking from these positions, you see the hands underneath the football. It looks a little bit out, but his hands are on it. You can't tell if the grass hit it and bumped it better into his hands or not. So, way to go with the no call and just go with what you originally called.
But if you're Western Kentucky, you're a little ticked off right now because you had Ball State with their backs literally against the wall, and now you've given them a little bit of breathing room. 7:40 to play in the third. Milas looks. Again, the deep out. Is it picked off? Yes! Inside the 20-yard line. That is a classic interception by Drell Green, his first of the year. And we have penalty flags thrown.
And the backside here, whether that's the roughing the passer and holding zone, so we'll look to see what the referee's calling on that. But for right now, Drell Green, what tremendous concentration to keep going for that interception.
After the interception, personal foul, number 96, intercepting team. 15-yard penalty. Western Kentucky keeps the ball. First down.
Now the penalty's on Julian Lewis. Let's look at the pick again by Drell Green.
Yeah, right here you see a hit, and Drell Green taps it. Face mask. Oh, keeps it against his face to get the interception. It holds on. What a tremendous job. Focus, concentration pays off. And Western Kentucky with the ball in the Ball State red zone. Ball's going to be walked off. It's going to be right inside the 35-yard line. I still consider that the red zone because that's for kickers. That's still in their money zone for kicks.
Only the interception number 3 for Western Kentucky so far this season. And again, Western Kentucky's got great field position. First interception of Drell Green's career, by the way. The ground game has been successful, so they'll keep it with Jakari Moses. Prior to that carry, they had rushed for just about 35, or just only 35 yards. And I'm kind of surprised that that number's so low considering what they did in that first half. Moses again. Left side, jumps over a tackler, gets down to the 12.
And, I mean, when you look at that's a great job by this offensive line, parting the Red Sea for Moses. It's
okay.
Got to go with it.
You absolutely have to. Why not try it again? This time, nothing doing.
Right there, basic zone play. Last time, they ran kind of a counter action and brought Moses to the backside. You saw the wide receiver blocking off the inside. That kind of gave him the room that he had on that previous run. But right there, running straight zone to the left side, not much going. And you're sitting at 2nd and 10.
Second down, 10.
2nd down and 10 after no gain on the last play. Closing in on 6:20 to play here in the third. White play action, looks down the middle. He throws his second pick of the ball game. And third of the season, Bryce Crosby, the outstanding freshman out of Louisville, his second interception this season.
And this is just a classic case. Mike White, it looked like he stared down the receiver. Bryce Crosby just stepped in and made a great play. So when we come back, Ball State will have the ball on the 25-yard line.
Go with 4-man pressure now. Ball State 2nd down, just about 10. Milas Looks, throws, first down. Good job. Up to the 38-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 17 on the play by Justin Hall. That's his third reception of the evening.
Yeah, good protection here by the offensive line. And, you know, uncharacteristic right here, leaving a receiver wide open in the slot. And guys are playing, look like they're playing quarters. So cover 4 defense, not allowing anybody over the top and giving a soft shell underneath it. Jack Miles made a great read there, find the open receiver.
On the last 2 games coming into this contest, Justin Hall had 15 receptions and a couple of touchdowns. He's a player that can hurt you. Miles looks, has to scramble. Heads for the sideline and wisely steps out of bounds, but not before he picked up almost 6.
Great job of applying pressure here. Comes right up the middle. Look, Evan Sainer is just sitting there trying to do it, and right here at the end, good job by the defender to pull up, but he squeezes by another yard or 2. A little tightrope walking on the sideline.
I'll tell you, he saw Iggy coming at him, and Iggy kind of let up a little bit, and he thought, well, I'm going to get a couple more yards out of this. On second down and short, and they'll get the first down right at midfield. Malik Dunner doing a nice job picking up 6 on the play. Dunner now with 40 yards running the football tonight.
Just a good inside read here, and you see once again Adam Paynish has been doing a great job from the center position, pulling around his right guard and really clearing that linebacker, allowing a hole for the running back to get up the field to the second level and get the first down.
Once again, kind of a makeshift offensive line for Ball State tonight. Vinny Patizzetti is not playing at left guard. They had to move Curtis Blackwell over there. Pass complete. A lot of running room. Tiptoeing down the sideline is Justin Hall. We just mentioned he's the player that can hurt you.
Yeah, Justin Hall can hurt you, but great block by Given, though. 88, the tight end for Ball State, to get Hall on the outside. Yeah, right here. I'm not sure what that is, but Nolan Given. Giddy-o tried to hip over him, but no haps there. Great job. When there's no flag, you got to say great job.
Well, he picked up 24. He's got a 21-yard reception and a 24. Miles bobbles the snap. Plenty of time. Sidearm throw complete. Inside the 20 to the 15 to Antoine Davis. A pickup of 10 on the play, and that'll be Davis's first reception of the evening.
And just great job by the offensive line, running a great job. And you look at right here, Nolan Given again, getting in there, mixing it in with the blitzer, and allowing Jack Miles enough time to deliver that pass for the first down.
3 minutes to play in the third. Western Kentucky, here they come on the blitz. Miles sidearm tries to rifle it to Lacanaria. You know, one of the problems, I think, you look at Ball State last season, when they got in the red zone, a lot of times they settled for the field goal. And we were talking to Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator, and the entire coaching staff, including head coach Mike New, they all said, we can't settle for that this year.
No settling. You've got to be attacking, and right there, they took full advantage of a blitz off the edge. Holt for the Hilltoppers coming off the edge and getting the strikes. You got to pay attention, and you got to focus in when you get in the red zone. There's no margin for error.
On second down and 10, Miles sees the blitz, just has to dump it off, getting down to about the 5-yard line.
And blitz coming right off of this right edge. And as a quarterback, you've got to throw to where the blitz is because there is a gap in the coverage. Jack Miles does it, steps into a guy and delivers that pass. You see right now 13 of 21 on the game, 196 yards, no touchdowns and 1 interception.
Cody Rudy getting his first reception of the year from the fullback spot. First and goal now from the 5. Banging ahead into the end zone, touchdown Malik Dunner.
Exclamation point on this drive. Think of where they came from, Ron. They came from on the shadow of the goal line, and they march it 99 plus yards down the field, capping it off here with the inside zone to the left. Paynish pulls around again, locks the quarterback again, and gives Malik Dunner plenty of space to backtrack his way into the end zone.
Well, and they did it in less than 4 minutes' time. And the extra point is good by Hagee. It was 9 plays on the scoring drive and ended up with a 5-yard run by Malik Gunner. That is his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Now, Big Red likes what he sees so far, but his team's lead's been cut down to 3. For breaking sports news, In Progress highlights the best viral videos and expert opinions from around the day's biggest headlines. Join us daily for the rally at 6 p.m., 11 p.m., and 1 a.m. only on WatchStadium.com. And the people tonight, John, Tim, Laura, and Dylan. Of course, Laura's part of our telecast at UAB, a former cheerleader at UAB. Yeah.
Sam Hunt friend.
There you go. That's right. Good friends with Sam Hunt, Country and Western star. Well, let's see how Western Kentucky can respond. Last week against Louisiana Tech in the second half, Western Kentucky played on their heels. They needed to be more aggressive in quarters 3 and 4 today. Towner's first chance to return one. Up ahead over the 30. One step away from breaking it. Tripped up at the 40-yard line. That'll be a return of 39 yards.
Starting field position continues. Look at this job that Towner does. Follows his lead blockers, lets the guys split the gap, and then after that he just weaves his way all the way up to the 42-yard line. Great starting field position for Western Kentucky. But as you see in the last 3 drives here, it's been stalled a little bit. Great field position starts, but you see punt, interception have been the results. They need to change those on the end of the results to touchdowns and field goals if they want to come out with a victory tonight.
Officially, that was a 41-yard return. Let's see how Mike White responds from his second interception of the evening. Trigg back to the line of scrimmage. You know, when we talk to the coaches about it, they talked about he's a perfectionist. He highlights plays during the week, the last, usually Thursdays or Fridays, of plays he likes to run along with offensive coordinator Junior Adams. A perfectionist who spends a lot of time. He's probably pretty ticked off at himself right now.
I think he is, and to go with that, he also labels them 1 through 5.
Yeah. Swing pass, Moses has the first down, cuts back inside, over the 40, down to the 36-yard line. Outstanding gain. It didn't seem like anybody followed him, and that allowed him to go on a 21-yard run.
Great job here with him running that swing. The wide receiver that was in on the slot position kind of picked that linebacker, allowing for a free release and a lot of yardage that he picked up.
And then Mike White goes to work throwing the football, throws it underneath to Jackson. That's basically to the line of scrimmage.
I actually think he might lose a yard on this one with that bump because he tried to regain his feet. So the possession line switched from where he caught the ball to where he got tackled.
They're going to say it's a loss of 1. Fans don't like it, but still, you don't know what that play sets up.
Exactly. It's Mike White back there. Anything is possible.
Absolutely. White over the middle, rifling the pass, caught. Jackson gets the first down over the 25 to the 24, but look at the protection on this play.
Yes, exactly. Look at the protection right here. Everything is free, gives it enough time. The free blitzers on the outside, so no hot. Mike White delivers a great throw to Lucky Jackson.
Well, Western Kentucky has fastball plays. We're seeing one there. Inside the 20, down to the 18 is Moses. Picks up, every time you say Moses, you want to say, from Ten Commandments, Moses.
Yeah, Moses.
High snap, White brings it down. Moses again.
Just running right up the gut here. Last 2 plays in a row, and that will be the end of the quarter.
We've got 15 minutes left to play. Western Kentucky knocking on the door, leading by only 3 as we head to the 4th. And a couple of more looks inside the Corvette Museum here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. An absolutely beautiful city. And Max Starks and I are, 3 for 3 now on restaurants.
Yes, we are. We're betting 1,000 here.
You can eat in this town. Along with former Pittsburgh Steeler, two-time Super Bowl champion Max Starks, I'm Ron Thulin. As Mike White and company trying to even their record up at 2-2. And this is an important game in the sense that next week they are off before they have to travel to take on Sean Kugler's UTEP Miners on October the 7th. 3rd down and 3. White wants to put it up, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
And a tremendous job coming in there. As you see, a Singleton coming off the edge on the blitz, and Jimmy Sims can't get a hand on him fast enough to knock those hands down. Look at him coming off the edge here. Jimmy Sims sets and just can't get back out there to, to force those hands down, because you're taught as a lineman, if a guy jumps, you bump. And preferably it's in the lower region, the abdominals.
Well, Singleton already with an interception, now with a pass broken up. Ryan Nuss will spot the ball right at the 25. This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt. He's already hit a 40-yarder. Crank up another one for him.
And most important on this drive was that they converted the drive into points.
Exactly.
So you saw the last 3 drives. We showed the graphic. You saw a punt, interception. But then now you see they can change that. And the first drive, and put up points in the 4th quarter. You got 3. Now you've extended that lead at least to where it has to be a touchdown.
Right.
You know, to take it instead of a field goal to tie it.
Well, let me play the devil's advocate just for a second. The old adage, if you settle for field goals, a lot of times it comes up and bites you.
That is very true as well. But you see in that situation, you have tough sledding for those guys, and especially that batted pass, because you have to think, if those hands are down, Mike White's completing for a 1st down. So this offense is going to have to hunker down, make sure you force Ball State to work the long field again, and get the ball back and hopefully convert some more points so it doesn't come down to a touchdown score.
306 total yards as we begin the 4th for Western Kentucky, 283 for Ball State. Special teams have been big tonight for Western Kentucky. They've done a nice job. Ranella's kick. Dunner will take it at about the 1. Looking for running room, and the white jerseys surround him. You know, tonight was supposed to be a whiteout, they called it. Now, the story here in Bowling Green, it said in one of the headlines, white out Ball State. There was a fan that thought that they meant Mike White was out for the Ball State game because he had a boot on last Monday. They thought he was out. So this guy emailed everybody and said, Mike White's out for the game. It's a whiteout. They wanted everybody to wear white.
They wanted to wear white. And you see, because of that misnomer, not as much white as you thought was going to be in the stadium.
Everybody was afraid. It's still one of the great hoaxes and stories I think I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You sure it wasn't a Ball State guy masquerading as a Western Kentucky fan?
Exactly. And Mike did hurt his ankle, by the way, in last game versus Louisiana Tech. And he was hobbling around a little bit. Here is Huntley on the carry. Maybe picks up a yard on the play. Let's see if this Western Kentucky defense can stand up to the challenge.
Can they hold Ball State under 100 yards? They've given up 113 per contest up to this point, but can they hold this team under 100 yards rushing?
This is where you hope your safeties and all your defensive backs have a good football IQ and awareness. 2nd down, and we've got a timeout going to be called by Ball State. And with that, we'll step aside. 20-14 our score, Western Kentucky on top. .14:08 to play in the football game, and Ball State only down by 6, 20-14. If you just joined us, Ball State without 4 offensive starters, including their starting quarterback Riley Deal, their best running back James Gilbert, who really came on last season and had an absolutely outstanding year. First team MAC last year. He is not playing because of an injured hand. Jordan Hogue also out because of an injury. But the company of Jack Milas and the rest of his teammates have done a great job tonight.
And yes, they have. Curtis Blackwell filling in for Palazetti has done a really good job at that left guard position.
On second down, Miles is just going to hand it off. Not much running room for Caleb Huntley. Only a 1-yard gain.
Nice defensive play here. You see Blackwell pulling around the corner, can't secure the edge, and Western Kentucky just knifes in there for a loss.
Ball State just 3 of 8 on third down tonight. They need 7. They'll stack wide receivers top and bottom of your screen. Last time they did that, they were successful. Miles hit as he throws, hit the ground incomplete. Miles took one of the chops.
And the heat was applied coming from the offensive right, defensive left side with a nice twist game. And I believe when we're looking at that, it was either Heath Wiggins or whoever. Heath Wiggins coming on the inside and drawing a great block here. Look at this. Coming around the inside. Guard can't switch off fast enough. Wiggins almost unabated and just delivers a shot straight in his face.
And the carry is Fant, preseason Conference USA first team, drifts over to the 35. That's where he will begin. Got some running room. Still on his feet, gets into Ball State territory.
I tell you, Nakarius Fant is quickly becoming one of my favorites in this game. His agility and lateral movement is just spectacular. Not only from the previous punt, but this one especially. You just look at the blocking up front here. Guys holding their place, and then even him just moving out of the way, diving. Look at all the bodies diving around him, trying to get to him. And he just puts this team in such great positions off of these punts. And right now, they're benefiting greatly. They're on the positive side of the field. Ball State 42-yard line. Short field. Tough situation for Ball State.
Well, 39 yards on the kick, Max, 22 on the return. Well, let's see if the Hilltoppers can take advantage of this. A lot of space in the secondary. White being traced from behind, fumbles the football, but covered up back at the 41-yard line. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a loss of 16, but a heads-up play by Matt Nord.
And there is, I can't even find it right now with this telestrator, but corner blitz coming from the bottom of your screen. And once again, coming from Mike White's visual side, the right side. He's a right-handed quarterback, but he keeps his eyes focused downfield. He can't see the corner blitz off the edge, and they've hit home twice on that blitz.
Lorenzo Holmes coming from that cornerback spot, trying to keep on his feet is, again, Jakari Moses picks up only 1 on the play. That'll bring up third down and a bundle. I'll tell you, again, we talked about the fact they had great field position, and Mike White gets the pressure, fumbles the football, goes all the way back, big loss. Now they're facing third and long.
Testament to this Ball State defense.
Absolutely.
They are bending and not breaking as much as people thought they would.
Now they're trying to move around. Guys are shoving each other all over the place. White double clicks and then dropped.
And guess who it is?
Second time he's been sacked tonight.
Anthony Winbush makes his presence known in this ball game. You can see him on the left edge here. Just absolutely blows past Jimmy Sims with a nice rip move up and underneath and gets the sack. The FBS sack leader gets on the board tonight, hits home in a very major time, third and long situation. He puts it away and forces Western Kentucky to punt the ball back to the Ball State offense.
Well, Winbush, that's only his third tackle of the ball game, but he does get the sack. Fair catch is being called for at the 10-yard line. And for Bush, 7.5 sacks on the year, 21 in his career. The punt goes 50. That's where Bowling Green will have, or Ball State will have the ball when we come back. Now the fans love their Hilltoppers. 20-14 is our score. I want to remind you, next week we have more Conference USA action. Middle Tennessee heads to Boca Raton to take on Florida Atlantic. Catch all the action, 7 p.m. Eastern on WatchStadium.com. on Twitter at Watch Stadium, or you can download the Stadium app in the App Store. And Middle Tennessee beating Bowling Green, not too far from us tonight. Milas and company will get underway right at about the 10-yard line. Play action, throws, pass, caught, despite good coverage by Ferris. Riley Miller coming up with the reception.
And it's a great job here picking up the blitz. Nolan Given stepping in and putting a hand on Iggy, or I should say an elbow, to prevent that and allow Milas enough time to throw to Miller.
Well, he picked up 9 on the play. Miller, that's his second reception of the evening. And it sets up that second and short. Gives you so many options. Western Kentucky with 5 on the line. Timeout's going to be called. They'll have 1 timeout remaining. Ball State will for the final 10:23.
Yeah, Milas didn't like what he saw there on that left side. And once again, it worked out last time.
We'll be back. Beautiful night for football in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Western Kentucky leads by 6, 2014. And fans have enjoyed it tonight. A little sultry night, but not a bad one. 2nd down and 1 after the timeout. Simple run play. Dunner will get the first down. And that'll be a pickup officially of just about 2 on the play. So Malik Dunner has done a nice job. Once again, James Gilbert not playing. Dunner with 54 yards. Or check that, Dunner with 45 yards rushing. Caleb Hunter with 40. So they've kind of double teamed him for 85 total yards between the two.
It's been a nice two-headed attack here between the two, making up for Gilbert being gone.
5 minutes gone by here in the third. Press coverage again by Western Kentucky. Milas looks, throws underneath, pass caught, lacking area. And he goes down hard at the 38-yard line. He'll be a little slow to get up.
Pulling that right shoulder.
Yeah.
Got hit pretty hard going down. And takes the knee. Yeah, that's not good. Guy who's been so integral in this offense and moving the ball when Ball State has had success. It's usually been through the air with La Canaria, making some key grabs. So this is definitely something that Ball State's going to be rearing from, trying to replace even more offensive players. So see him coming across with a drag route, tucking it, taking the ball down, but right here, just that slam, right on the ball hand, just a crunch from Ferris trying to get him down to the ground. And just not a good look there. He's still down being examined by trainers.
Andrew Cardinal, number 11, for La Canaria.
Yeah, he tried to get up and tried to shield it from taking more brunt, but at that moment he was unprotected. Ball was secured in that right hand as Ferris kind of dove on his back trying to get him down on the ground and just landed really hard on that right side.
Well, he had his 3rd reception tonight, giving him 12 for the season, and they're going to lift him up gingerly.
Yeah, that looks to be shoulder collarbone area.
You were kind of hoping maybe it'd just be a stinger, but the way he came down on it, it didn't look that. We don't want to speculate.
Yeah, we don't want to speculate too much, but it was in that area. And holding it gingerly. I mean, just look at it one more time, Jeff. Right there, all of Ferris's body weight comes down on top of him. The elbows extended, and you see just the crunch and compaction there. Tough for him. Hopefully it's nothing too bad.
Well, he has meant so much for this program. Corey Lacanaria has, the senior out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. And they got a long drive, too. They bust down here. They've got a 4.5-hour bus ride. They're going to put them on the cart. I'm sure there are x-ray facilities here inside the stadium. And they're going to have to take a look at that. That'll make that bus ride even longer.
Yes, it will. But he provided a 2nd and short opportunity for this Ball State offense.
And it's 2nd and 3. Left side running. Dunner stretching it out. Gets the first down. Scampers over the 30 up to the 34-yard line. I'll tell you, Dunner's got a little hip-hop to him, and he's got a little swagger when he runs the football.
Yes, he does, because you think right here, just look at the pressure applied, pushing the pocket back, and Dunner's forced to kind of bow it, but because he has those jets on the outside, he's able to turn it up and get the first down for the Cardinal offense.
And another first down inside of 9 minutes. They'll go with 4 wide receivers, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Milas looks left, throws over the middle, and the pass is tipped. Right at the line of scrimmage. Getting a big paw up on that ball.
Yeah, big paw. You look right here. Milas sees what he wants, and then the big paws are applied by number 3, Chris Johnson. Look at that, right there. Just used the J.J. SWAT method.
Boy, he did.
And really knocked that pass out, because that was a clear shot to the receiver if he doesn't do that.
Johnson, honorable mention All-Conference USA last season. They were looking for consistency from him tonight. On second down, back to the run game. Dunner gets about 5 on the play.
And a great job here on that delayed handoff. The backside, the left side, almost let it go as though it was a draw type of style protection, but the double team on the front side held and allowed for Malik Dunner to slip through the right side and get some yardage there to put this in a third manageable situation.
Now let's see what Clayton White dials up defensively, and Joey Lynch, Ball State's offensive coordinator, dials up offensively. Five-man pressure. Milas reads the ball, tipped in the air. Almost picked off, but again it is DeAndre Ferris. He had 3 passes broken up coming into this game. He's got a couple tonight.
And what a great job by Ferris to pop this in the air. Look at this. Got a blitz coming on the left side of your screen, and DeAndre Ferris bounces up in the air. And who's there to almost tip it? Right there at the last second.
Yeah.
The defensive tackle, Evan Sainer, who dropped in coverage on that blitz scheme so they could bring 2 up the middle. They dropped the defensive tackle out into the flat zone.
How about 5 passes broken up tonight by Ferris? Nice spiraling kick. Fant has to backpedal to the 14. He'll call a fair catch. 46-yard kick, nothing on the return. And we do have a penalty flag at about the 47.
Yeah, interesting area where that flag was called. I mean, you can have a holding, you can have some unsportsmanlike, some jaw jacking from either side. Interesting to see what the referee calls here.
There's no foul in the play. First down.
Second time tonight.
Second flag picked up tonight.
I like it, though. Keep the game moving, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
4 penalties for Ball State tonight, 3 for Western Kentucky.
Relatively clean game.
So far.
2 pre-snap dead ball penalties. And then the other ones, you can work with it. Some holding, a little extracurricular.
Yeah. And 1 targeting.
Yeah, 1 targeting ejection.
Once again, Brandon Martin was thrown out 5-18 of the third quarter because of targeting. The linebacker, strong side linebacker for Ball State. And now Western Kentucky with probably their worst field position to begin in this ball game in the quarterback comparison. Both quarterbacks have done a good job except Mike White. 2 interceptions tonight. Had 1 in the first 3 games. Speaking of penalties. That probably drives coaches nuts.
Yes.
Coming out of a timeout and you can't get things lined up and going.
Yeah, you can't get it done in 25 seconds. You had a whole timeout to figure out what you were going to accomplish, especially if you're the home team. It's different if you're the away team trying to communicate through a lot of sound, but you're the home team in that situation. That's just something that's unacceptable. And Mike White's too seasoned of a guy to not get it. So backed up inside their own 10 now.
And that's not good with 7:49, and you've got Ball State probably feeling pretty good about themselves. They rush 4. White rifles the pass. Jackson's got it. Up to the 17-yard line. That was almost picked off.
Yeah, that was very, very lucky. You were throwing to lucky in that moment. Look at it here. Over to the left side, you see the backer leaking out to the area, and, of course, the defensive back really tried to jump that route. And yeah, here we go one more time. Just a second off. Just a second off on that.
That was Lamar Anderson, which we've talked a lot about him tonight. Coaches really like him. White loses the football. And they're going to say it's an incomplete pass. Mike White just doesn't look 100% tonight.
He is not on par. You think of the first half, just how on par he was and how laser precise he was with his passes. Right here, very careless with the football. And luckily it bounced off of one of the linemen's backsides. And here's Mike White trying to scramble to pick it back up.
Western Kentucky 7 of 13 on third down. They need 8. White's got time, rolls to his left, being chased. Still on his feet, throws incomplete. He was throwing that away. Good defense by this Ball State squad.
Great job by the Ball State defenders on this back half. Look at bringing only a 4-man rush. You got 7 guys back to the inside and pressure. Anthony Winbush comes inside, forces him out to the left, nowhere to go with the football. Lucky Jackson was deep, but because of the defenders in Mike White's face, he was never able to plant his feet and deliver the ball downfield. Great job, Ball State, and now Western Kentucky is punting again in the second half.
Riley Miller calling the fair catch at the 40 once again. Lacanaria, usually the punt returner, he is injured. Kick goes 42, nothing on the return with 6:54 to play in the ball game.
A great field position here for Ball State. Take advantage of the ineptitude of that last drive by Western Kentucky. We'll see if they can capitalize. They're down 6. A touchdown and an extra point puts them ahead in this ball game.
Don't forget, this is an offense that hung 375 yards on Illinois. Tonight they've got 314. They are capable. Of course, they did have their starting quarterback and starting running back in that game.
But looking pretty good in their absence.
Absolutely. Miles throws, pass is complete, right at midfield. Bouncing around is Antoine Davis. Picks up 9 on the play. 8 different receivers have caught passes tonight for Ball State.
And just what a great job in the ball security of Jack Miles throughout this entire contest.
Miles, here comes the pressure. Reads it, deep out, throws, pass is caught inside the 25 down to the 20-yard line. What a throw to Justin Hall. 30 yards on the catch. That is a career high for Hall.
And Justin Hall working in the slot here, coming just with a little release route to the outside and makes a spectacular play. Miles puts the ball only where Hall can catch it. Protection up front, coming with a cross dog blitz here out of nickel, and nothing pressuring Miles. He's able to deliver a great throw and catch. And these guys are in the red zone and in scoring position.
98 yards receiving for Hall so far tonight. 1st and 10 from the 20. Miles throws, pass, bobble, drop. Should have been caught, but I think they heard a little bit of footsteps coming up by Masay White from that linebacker spot.
Yeah, in this position, I mean, Miles is looking him down. It's a great position, maybe a little bit behind him, but still in a position where he can make that catch. Littles obviously not targeted that much throughout this ball game, getting his first action. But yeah, that was a great opportunity missed by Miles and his receiver.
Yeah, 2nd down and 10, still in the red zone. Closing it on 5.5 to play. 5-man rush. Miles reads it, throws over the back shoulder. That's going to be a catch at the 4. My goodness, 16 yards, but what a pass from Jack Miles.
Tight end here, Nolan Givens, I'm looking, or is that Davis? Looks like Anthony Davis.
Looks like Antoine Davis.
Or Antoine Davis, yes. Sorry about that.
They're going to have to take another look at it.
A lot of athleticism from that play. to catch, do a spin move there, and come down with it. Let's see here on the replay.
You can't really see.
Can't really tell. Looks out of bounds from this angle, but the referee's covering his inside leg. Let's see if we got a better angle.
Looked like
Very
that
close.
left foot was out.
Yeah, it looked like the toe was on the white, that left foot toe. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's
Well,
enough to
I'll tell you what,
overturn it, though.
I agree.
I don't know. I might have called this incomplete off of my first look and then waited to be overturned the other way. But either way, an athletic play with very tight space to get those feet down, and for him to even come close to that, it's pretty spectacular.
I'll tell you, Antoine Davis has been impressive. The sophomore out of St. John, Indiana. Here's a better look.
Oh, that foot's in.
That one foot's in.
That toe is in before the other one comes down.
Well, the fans aren't going to like the call.
No, they're not going to be fans of it.
How about Antoine Davis tonight? 3 catches, 35 yards. You combine that with Justin Hall, what he's done, 5 catches, 98 yards. Justin Hall catches of 21, 24, and 30 yards in this ball game.
And Antoine Davis, you think about his catches are memorable.
Exactly.
This one right here, the one down on the other end of the field, he made a great first down play. And just adds to the momentum here for Ball State in the fourth quarter. Such an acrobatic catch by Antoine Davis.
I'll tell you, Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator, has done an outstanding job for the Cardinals tonight. Look at it again. I think all the fans see is the 1 foot stepping out, not seeing that other one kind of tiptoeing
and
down.
It kind of pirouettes in.
Yeah, exactly.
To nab that little bit of grass before he goes out.
So it's 1st and goal now for Ball State. Low snap, handoff. Down to about the 2-yard line is Huntley. They're probably in no hurry. Second and goal. Run play again. Banging straight ahead. Pyle pushes forward, waiting for the signal. Still waiting for the signal. Touchdown, Ball State.
Attitude on that play. Let's go back and watch it. This is all about attitude. You're running inside zone, not running a goal line look, but you're running inside zone, ran with power and authority by Huntley. Look at this. Nice job here. Paynish clearing out the linebacker again. I have to point this out. What a great job the center has done this entire game on the zone scheme of running what we call like a little X, an X cut, where the guard comes down and center pulls around to get inside leverage on the linebacker. Paynish has done it the entire night and led the way, and right there is exclamated by another touchdown run of the same variety for Ball State.
So Hagee on for the extra point, and this is an important extra point. Give them the 1-point advantage. And he's got it. Ball State has taken a 21-20 lead as Caleb Huntley gets his second rushing touchdown of the night. But you've got to give the credit to Jack Milas. What a job he has done. 18 for 30, 267 yards.
All set up here by the great play by Antoine Davis, getting that right leg down before the left one hits the ground on a spin move in the air. And that sets up the position for Caleb Huntley with the go-ahead run into the end zone to give them the score and a 1-point advantage. And Western Kentucky's had no answer for Ball State in this fourth quarter thus far. But they do have 4 minutes and 50 seconds to respond to that touchdown drive of Ball State.
You've got a dangerous kick returner in Towner back there, who's had a couple of returns tonight for big yards. Rimler will set to kick it away. Ryan Rimler, the sophomore out of Heidelberg, Germany. Side winds it right at the goal line. It'll be Towner. Takes a hit up at the 24-yard line, and with 4:44 to play in the ball game, a 23-yard return. And that's where Western Kentucky will get underway. We talked about this early on in the first quarter. The 3 losses they've had at home, UAB, Vandy, and Louisiana Tech, since 2014. You can see they average almost 49 points a game. Not the case tonight.
Tough sledding tonight for Mike White and this Hilltopper offense. First half looked really good. 2 scoring drives, touchdowns, and then another with a field goal. In this second half, very quiet, only a field goal in the second half.
And White looks to set up a screen pass, and he's got it. Moses gets close to the first down. They'll give it him the 35-yard line, so that'll move the chains.
Good setup here on the right side. Look at that. Allow the men to move upfield. And then right there, getting out on the outside is Pate, the right guard, and the center. And clearing the way for a nice first down run for Moses.
White looks left, throws, quick pass, caught, 5-yard gain by Yelder.
Deion Yelder, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's his second catch of the game. The first one was a touchdown. So he's been quiet this game. Always a great safety blanket for a quarterback, especially when you're in these hurry-up situations. Look for that tight end sitting down on the inside on the seam or in the hook curl area.
And we thought Yelder would be more of a factor coming into this game. White going with another quick throw. That'll be another first down. Lucky Jackson on the reception. His 7th catch, most for Western Kentucky tonight, and it picks up 5. I like this little chipping stuff.
As I was about to say, I like the fact he's doing these short, secure routes, not a lot of yak, but he's securing completions, keeping the ball in bounds as well, running that clock.
And now Lucky Jackson in the slot bottom of your screen. 3:35 left in the ball game. Trigg in the backfield. White rolls, buys some time. Pass caught, spin move, fast. A yard short of the first down, he picks up 9.
I like what Mike White did in this situation. Had a different play pattern, and then he adjusted it, spread it out his receivers to the right-hand side, gave him a little bit more flex, and then did a half roll over to him because he knew there was a mismatch, and Fant took advantage.
Second and short, just give it to Trigg, and he'll get the first down to the 43-yard line. And you look at a player like L'Carius Fant, he's dependable. But he said earlier this week he takes responsibility for the leadership role on this team, even though, if Fant's a senior, but he said, I've got to step up and get these guys in these type of situations.
And doing a great job leading tonight. And with this team doing this, they are providing a lot of time off that clock.
White looks, secondary receiver, caught. Yelder inside the 15, down to the 14. What were we saying about we thought he'd be more of a factor tonight?
Yes, you spoke it up into existence. And right here, just look at the job the offensive line does, providing time. Mike White keeps his head downfield, and Yelder gets right into that seam and makes a great catch. And horse collar did not get called, but most important, they could now run clock time. Because all you need is a field goal to win this game.
Exactly.
So try and drain this clock as much as possible so you don't give Ball State time on the field.
White looks for Moses, who breaks tackles. That'll set up a first and goal from the 5. He picked up 10. How about Yelder, though? The career-high 28-yard reception, setting all this up with 1:50 to play.
Look at this job here. Rushing up to the ball. Let's see.
Moses. The promised land for Jakari Moses.
He crosses those burning sands of this field, doesn't he, Ron?
How impressive was that for Western Kentucky? They go down 21-20, and they march right down the field.
And just got to give a tremendous job this offensive line. Look at the blocking. Jimmy Sims never gives up on the outside. Moses sticks behind him. and he just dives into the end zone. And this Western Kentucky team has responded to the adversity. You had a touchdown by Ball State with the go-ahead, and then they respond with the drive of their own, and with a little over a minute left, now 2-point play.
And White looks, has time, rifle in the pass, tipped away, intended for Yelder. Look at it again.
Nice play by the defense. Yelder tries to sit inside on that curl hook and right on the seams, and the intuitive backer made the play to stop it.
Western Kentucky went 76 yards in 8 plays, 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Mike White, pinpoint precision throwing the football. A couple of outstanding catches, one, of course, from Dion Yelder. And they lead by 5 with 1:38 to play. And once again, Ball State only 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, those timeouts taken earlier in the game of this half was definitely proved to be costly. But plenty of time on the clock. Let's see where they get, and it starts with this kickoff return.
Miller and Donner set to return the kick. 1 yard separates the total yardage of these two teams. Western Kentucky 1 yard short of ball. Here's Donner. Up over the 20 to the 24-yard line with 1:32 to play. 23 yards on the return, 1 timeout remaining.
Very important here to get the ball moving. You need to look at these sidelines.
Yep.
Make sure that the cornerbacks are not double bracketing these receivers too much to where the sideline becomes more of a defender than a help to them. So look for a lot of spread in this, a lot of crossing routes, pick routes between these slot receivers because they've done the most damage receiving-wise from the slot.
I'd find out where number 12 is if you're Western Kentucky's defense and stick to him. Milas looks, throws, pass incomplete. Passes was intended for Riley Miller, the sophomore from Yorktown, Indiana. Actually went to the same high school as Riley Neal, usually the starting quarterback, but injured tonight. Ferris doing a really good job this evening defensively.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job tonight, really sticking to whoever's come in front of him.
Second and 10. Milas hit as he throws. No whistles blown. Ball is loose. Still loose. And now the far side official saying it's an incomplete pass.
And I would look at number 12 here, Hall. He's shaking up on the play. That was a hard hit he took when that ball came out of Jack Milas' hands. He is down. He is hurt. And that is a big blow for this offense. You think about coming up 3rd and long, and one of your most dependable receivers is injured. Let's take another look here.
I think it's Demetrius Kane that made the hit.
Yeah, it looks like he did. Okay, let's see right here. He's trying to go for the recovery, and right there gets crunched between two defenders.
Actually, Derek Overstreet was in on that.
Yeah, Overstreet diving for the football.
Okay, this is a couple of plays ago, 2 plays ago. This was almost picked off.
It was.
He goes through the legs. That should have been an interception.
Wow.
You know, it went through his legs, and the official called it incomplete, but he was in bounds when he made the reception.
Yeah, that quirky play there that got missed, and it was right in front of the referee's eyes.
Wow.
Okay. Slow to get up, but at least he's standing up on 2 feet.
I want to look at that again to make sure we're right on this, but two plays ago, this would have been game, set, and match.
Yeah, this is where you tip the king over, because I don't see the ball hitting. Yeah, it bounced off his heel.
Yeah,
bounced off of his heel. that never hit the ground.
That should have been an interception.
Wow. He missed there, but you look at two bodies in front of that referee there. He can't see it on the sideline, but we have the fortunate blessing of many cameras on the ground. Caught that.
Well, now it is 3rd down and 10, and the crowd's loud. They rush 5. Miles hit as he throws. Picked off! This could be 6, 10, 5. Touchdown, Joe Brown!
And Joe Brown, a guy we knew that was going to be having a big role tonight at the cornerback position, and he does it. DeAndre Ferris with the PBUs and all the blocking on the other side forced Jack Miles to go the opposite direction to Joe Brown. And you look at right here, Joe Brown, heads up play here on tight end Nolan Givens. Givens fades a little bit too much to the inside. Brown is right there for the interception and strolls into the end zone as he looks to the crowd as though, yes, that is me who just put 7 from 7.
And that'll probably put it away. We were talking to the coaches the last couple of days since Thursday when they talked about Joe Brown, the senior from Louisville, as the extra point is good. They said he's able to diagnose an offense so well. He challenges wide receivers, and he says he understands coverages. That was his 4th career interception, and it went to 34 yards and a TD.
And he understood his coverage responsibilities on that play, because even though Givens gets to the inside on the square end, Joe Brown still trailing it, knowing he has inside safety help, and the ball comes right to him. Miles throws it a little bit late, but he had pressure in his face as he delivered that football.
And, you know, it's just crushing for Jack Miles, who played such an outstanding game, throwing for 267 yards, to have that pick in the final minute and a half.
Yeah, that pick at that moment
exactly
is a crusher. But if I'm Western Kentucky, I'm proud of the way this Hilltopper team has responded, and this defense played big tonight. They gave up 3 touchdowns on the ground, but the way that they played it, a couple of those were short fields and a couple from the interceptions from the offense, and some of their lackluster play in the second half, but just as a team responded so well, and that's why this is a team game. You have 3 dimensions that are involved in this football game. This is a good team win tonight for Western Kentucky.
Well, Clayton White, the defensive coordinator, also coaches the cornerbacks. Dunner from the 4, heads to his right. A lot of white jerseys are trailing. Running out of real estate. He's going to go down at the 8. That'll go down officially as an 8-yard return, but with 64 seconds left and 1 timeout, Ball State will have the football.
Yeah, there's no quit here for Ball State. You got to come out.
No, exactly.
You got to operate your 2-minute offense. It's a great opportunity for Jack Miles to get those reps in.
You know, I always hesitate to say a game is over. I learned that a long time ago.
I know. Hopefully I didn't break a Cardinals in with a backup quarterback in this position.
Yeah, really. Let's hope not. 4 wide receivers set. Miles looks right, throws right, ball's tipped, almost picked off again. Ooh, that was almost another Oski, as we used to call it.
Yes.
Demetrius Kane almost came up with a football. That'd have been his first career INT.
His last 2 drives, I've noticed they're playing a lot more man-free and press.
Exactly.
Not giving them as much security, which you think you want to play prevent at this point.
5-man rush. Miles steps up. Tracked down from behind, and he will go down at the line of scrimmage. D'Angelo Malone, the freshman from Ellenwood, Georgia. I'll tell you what, he's only 215 pounds. He plays defensive end. I'm looking forward to when he gets up to about 230.
Exactly, because he ran the full hump there.
Yeah.
And ran the retrace and dropped him with a 1-yard gain.
On 3rd down, ball is incomplete. Bobbled, no catch by Dunner. That'll bring up 4th down with 28 seconds left.
Why not go for it here?
You got to.
You have nothing to lose. Wing it down the sidelines. I would have gotten into a 5 wide, but you have a running back. There's always a chance for a motion. 3 to the left. Just throw it downfield. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
Throw a jump ball.
Milos looks. Here comes the pressure. Look out. Hit as he throws, and that's going to do it. Western Kentucky is going to get their 2nd win of the year and the first one over an FBS team this season. But congratulations a lot go to Ball State and Mike New and his coaching staff. 4 offensive starters out of the football game. They were competitive tonight, to say the least.
They were very competitive, and you saw them on the sidelines raising the W.
That's
Western
it.
Kentucky. That was the raise the W sign there for Mike Sanford, and he said he wanted to do this. He wanted to run the greatest play in football by the end of this game, and he gets that opportunity. It's the victory formation, or as we call it, 6 tight diamond.
There you go.
You take the knee for the victory, and to do it in the fashion that they did is truly spectacular. Mike White, spectacular the first half, struggled in the second half, but pulled it together, and they get the win with that knee right there.
And that's going to do it. They had a very bad taste in their mouth after the loss to Louisiana Tech in the closing minute. Mike Sanford saying they were ornery at practice in a good way this week, and they knew they had to get that performance of Louisiana Tech out of their system, where they failed in the 4th quarter, had the ball 4 times, couldn't do anything. Tonight they had the big 4th quarter, which they didn't have last week.
And you can see this Western Kentucky team was fired up, and even though it is a non-conference game, it always feels good to win and win at home. Defend your house and make it a tough place for opponents to come into, and they have sustained that and reclaimed it after the loss against La Tech last week, and now they go full-blown into
Let's take a look at the second half, because it was a dandy, and of course Ball State coming up with the pick, and that stopped the Western Kentucky drive. And Mike White ends up throwing 2 picks today, had a couple of them knocked down. And then he also got sacked a couple of times tonight, or 1 time tonight.
Yeah, Anthony Winbush continuing his streak of sacks. Malik Gunner here getting into the end zone and putting this game close. And you see right there Caleb Huntley as well getting into the end zone on a power.
Well, they got the lead at 21-20, and then Joe Brown really put a cap on this game with a pick 6, goes 34 yards, his 2nd interception of the year, his 4th of his career. That was Johnny on the spot. So Mike Sanford gets his 2nd win as a head coach in the FBS. Hard-fought win, but it goes down as a W.
It does, and there's no style points when it comes to getting W's. And right here, this is a hard-fought and a good team victory for all parties involved.
Once again, the final score, Western Kentucky wins it 33-21. From our broadcast partner, Max Starks, I'm Ralph Hewland, saying good night from Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the Hilltoppers win it 33-21. After the break, we will join the rally right here on WatchStadium.com.